Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. I'm Pam Oliver. Well, after winning the division last week, Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett had a couple of messages for his team, some instructions actually. He told them to enjoy this moment, but tomorrow give the commemorative hats and t-shirts celebrating the NFC East title to loved ones or friends. He said for this ball game, he wants to see the Cowboys come out with intensity, to play with an edge. He feels like those two things will set them up nicely for the playoffs. Up to you, Kevin.
Pam, thanks, and we show you who's not playing. And that's the thing when Pam's talking about playing with an edge, and he wants to win. He wants to play crisp, but the smart thing, Charles, the guys that are banged up are not playing.
Yeah, you got to be very judicious about what you're doing. Everyone else who gets a chance to play, have that edge. Play with the intensity. Show that you belong as part of the roster.
Dallas won the toss. They have decided to defer, so the Giants will receive. And here we go from northern New Jersey. It's week 17. And Corey Coleman going to decide to take it out. Has a nice little seam. Coleman across the 30. Good return. He's out across the 35. And a good way for the Giants to start their final game of this 2018 season. As Eli Manning in his 15th season, having one of his better years throwing the football. It's the highest completion rate he has ever had, and looking to finish strong here today. Giants offensively on the year, they're 20th in scoring, but Charles, they've been much better since the bye. Part of that is they've blocked better.
They block better, and they've had better continuity.
Throw it here with Manning on the run to Shepard with a block and a first down, and Shepard has a big play on the first play for the Giants all the way down to the Dallas 38. It's a gain of 34.
And something else that they've done better is they've moved Eli Manning in and out of the pocket. A lot more bootleg action, getting him out away from out under center to where people can find him immediately on a 3 or a 5-step drop. Just changing the launch points, as Pat Shermer liked to call it, and he did that on the first play to good effect.
Kyle Lauletta is in the game as a wide receiver at the top of your screen, the backup quarterback. So a little different look, but they're going to run it to Barkley. That usually works, and it works again, and Barkley's still going. Breaking tackles inside the 20. Saquon Barkley, what a year for the rookie, and he's got the Giants going with a gain of 26.
And there's excellent blocking from all the big people up front. Now watch the vision and the cutback from Saquon Barkley. And you mentioned Kyle Lauletta. He may not throw an actual block, but look at him try and stay active and keep Byron Jones occupied out on the corner. There's Barkley breaking through the tackle by Jeff Heath. And the Giants are off to a very fast start.
Well, talked about the momentum at the start, and they've got it to get it going here. Giants, of course, without Odell Beckham again, by the way, so he's been out the last month, so they are really shorthanded at the wide receiver position. Give it to Barkley. Patient, and not much room to go. Well, we talked about the Giants, Charles, since the bye, and look, they've got 5 wins. We're not trying to make them out to be world beaters here, but there's no doubt they look better, they've played better, and quite frankly, the numbers support it. Look at the points before the bye. They were under 19. Now they're over 26. The sacks is really the biggest difference.
Well, you mentioned a big part of it is the offensive line. And as you said, they haven't been world beaters, but the idea that they were the same guys essentially playing together for the last 4, 5, 6 games, that's really helped out. The continuity, everyone understanding assignments, and getting comfortable with each other up front.
On second down, Manning on the run again. Looking on the run, completing. And that catch is made by Simonson, the tight end, who gets down to the 5. So it'll be 3rd down and 2. By the way, more injuries for the Giants. We told you Beckham not playing. Rhett Ellison, the backup tight end, also out.
So that means Scott Simonson, who caught his first touchdown pass in his NFL career last week at Indianapolis, he's going to get more time. And we had a chance to meet his dad in pregame, and his dad whispered to me, he's not just a blocker, you know. He can catch the football, and he just did there.
Third down and 4, they line up Evan Engram, the tight end, who's got great speed up to the top of your screen.
He's like a wide receiver. They may think one-on-one with him up top.
Eli not looking that way, coming the other way. Intercepted in the end zone. Chidobe Awuzie was there. He was trying to get it to Shepard, and a great opening drive. The Giants denied.
And what a play by Awuzie at the corner. They were hoping to hold him short with a route underneath. He read it, dropped back into the coverage, and makes the initial interception and kills the Giants' first drive. All right, so what you're doing, Chidobe Awuzie, is looking back, and he's looking at Benny Fowler, number 18, and Sterling Shepard. They're trying to hold him right there, but look at Awuzie's eyes. He sees back into the quarterback and realizes Eli Manning is not going to Benny Fowler, so he leaves him alone and falls off on the coverage. Back to Shepard, and takes the ball away, and the Cowboys start him off.
And Awuzie has his first interception of the year, and so here come the Cowboys. And Dak Prescott getting the start today. They're coming out to Noah Brown on the first reception of the game, and he's going to pick up a short gain. And yeah, we told you Elliott is out, right? So Rod Smith will get the start at tailback today. Also for the Cowboys, they're all pro right guard Zach Martin, who's been really banged up with the knee. Tyron Smith has had multiple injuries on the left tackle. He's out. And again, Jason Garrett doing what he said. We're going to play to win, but the guys that are banged up, we're going to give them a week to get healthy for the playoffs. Some discombobulation on the snap. And we get a penalty, and Clay Martin is our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on B.J. Hill, the rookie out of NC State, has had a really good year. But the penalty there. Cowboys offense has been, good at times. We know with Elliott, they are one of the top teams running the football, 6th in the league there. But they have been erratic. And that's why Jason Garrett wants to see a couple of good drives today. Here's Rod Smith, who will get the carry, playing for Elliott, not going to get their third down.
We were here last year for this game near the end of the season, and Rod Smith played very well in that game. Ended up having 47 yards and a touchdown on the ground, 5 catches, 113 yards, including an 81-yard touchdown catch on a quick pass in the middle, and then he ran away from everyone. So he's excited about getting this opportunity to be the full-time ball carrier. Remember, Ezekiel Elliott displaced him at Ohio State and turned Rod Smith into a fullback.
Funny, right? Tavon Austin's in the game for the Cowboys. He's been out since week 6 with a groin injury. Like to give him some touches today. 3rd down and 1. They will just run it to Rod Smith right through the middle and a first down for Dallas up to the 39.
Kevin, golfers often talk about how certain courses fit their eye, and that means they play well at that course, all right? Tiger Woods at Torrey Pines, for example. For Rod Smith, this field last year represented, the apex of his NFL career. I wonder if he thinks that this stadium fits his eye with this start we're seeing here.
90! Hey, kill! 190!
On the fake, Prescott has Dalton Schultz wide open in the tight end as a first down and more. Into Giants territory. Good play call. Dalton Schultz, the rookie out of Stanford, picks up 17.
And the rookie, watch Schultz, pretending, and then gets out here. See that? And look at him whip around. Nice pivot route by Schultz. Sold the inside move. Pivots abruptly, and a nice play fake there from Rod Smith, pretending he had the ball. Allowed Prescott to get out on the corner, and Dalton Schultz is really starting to come on, the rookie out of Stanford.
That's Amari Cooper in motion. Prescott looking that way. Throwing that way, almost intercepted. That would have been a touchdown. Janoris Jenkins jumped the route, but just couldn't make the catch.
Well, this is where you start to think about Jenkins and his nickname, the Jackrabbit, because he almost hopped on this one enough to turn it into 6 points for the Giants. And if he catches the football, he's gone. He did everything correctly, but take the ball the other way. Instead of catching it with his hands, he tried to use his body. It bounced off the pads. A terrific read, a nice pass breakup, but so much more could have resulted.
Prescott, it's a draw. Smith is in trouble, and down he goes. Michael Thomas, who is starting for the injured Landon Collins, who's on IR. But he's played pretty well, actually a Pro Bowl alternate at special teams. And he makes a play. Giants defense looking for a pass rush. They haven't had much of that this year. They have had some bright spots like Hill, the rookie. Tate Davis starting. Alec Ogletree has been one of their best playmakers, out again from a concussion a couple weeks ago.
58 down. 36 is the mark. You got 31. You got 31. Hey, dirty.
Giants showing blitz. Here it comes. Prescott sees it, gets hit as he throws. It's high and incomplete. They came with Thomas on the blitz, and it worked. And a 4th down and 12. Ladler was in there too. Dallas will punt it away.
And when you blitz and you're able to get the pressure on the quarterback, it often speeds up the process of what he's trying to accomplish. And in that case, he threw it to the outside part of the field. Michael Gallup's running inside, a misconnection, and I think it resulted from the pressure.
End over end. Coleman calling fair catch, does so. Giants will take over right around their own 13-yard line. And so we get to see the sensational rookie Saquon Barkley. Still got a chance at the rushing title today, just saying. Here's the race for the rushing title in the NFL this year. Well, Elliott's not playing today. Gurley is not playing for the Rams today. So Barkley, this is up to date. He's got 27 yards rushing already in this game. So he needs 209 yards to win the rushing title. Look, it's obviously would take a monster game, but it's not out of the question with this guy. He's got a chance as a rookie to do it. You know the Giants are cognizant of that with Elliott out. Here's Manning to throw. Second possession for the Giants. They're going to throw it to Barkley, and that works just fine, too. He's got another 1st down, and that's the thing, Charles. It's not only him running the ball. That's his 88th catch of the year. Incredible numbers.
Knew that he had that ability coming out of college, but the idea of getting this done on the NFL level, and listen, you want to get up close and personal with Saquon Barkley, here's the chance to do it. But they have really maximized his catching skills. Remember, he had 14 catches in the first game against Dallas, although it was only for 80 yards.
Think about this. That catch ties Reggie Bush for the most by a rookie running back ever. Look at him, dazzling moves, still on his feet. And that's a heck of a 1-yard run by Barkley.
In pregame, we were talking with some Cowboys personnel. We were talking to their sideline reporter, Christy Scales, on their radio. And she was talking about how the defense was jacked up to play against Saquon Barkley today, to get prepared for the playoffs. No better test than to try and get this elusive, strong, powerful runner on the ground. So far, Barkley's really putting them to the test.
Although Barkley takes a breather, Wayne Gallman is in the game for the first time, and he goes in motion. Gets right next to Eli Manning. Fake to Gallman. Here comes pressure. They get it to Ingram. Looking for a block. Evan Ingram, he's been real good the last couple of weeks. And Ingram has enough for a Giants 1st down. And that's, Charles, one of the positive developments. They've been waiting for him. He's come to life.
And I don't think there's any accident, because 2 things have happened for Evan Ingram. Number 1, he's gotten healthy. Been dinged up a lot this year. Number 2, without Odell Beckham Jr. in the game, those catches have to go somewhere, don't they? And Ingram runs routes like a wide receiver, so they can move him to a variety of spots and utilize his skills.
You're ready. Set. 118. Touch.
On the fake, give it to Sterling Shepard. Shepard on the reverse has some room. Van Der Esch in hot pursuit, and he's the one that's going to force him out, but not before Sterling Shepard is going to pick up a little over 8 yards on the run.
And how about this? Kevin, do you get the sense that Pat Shurmur is not just giving them a lot of looks today, but he's made it fun in terms of game planning today? Last game of the season, trying to get a win first and foremost, but want to make it fun for the guys going out at the end of this year. Everyone getting a piece of the action in the early going.
Second carry of the year for Shepard. 2nd and short. Manning to throw. Catching traffic and a good one. And that is Ingram, who hauls it in for a Giants 1st down. We've got our first game break of the day. Let's say hi to Carissa Thompson.
Hi, Kevin. So Panthers at the Saints. Kyle Allen making his first career start, scores his first career touchdown. Panthers leading 7-0 over the Saints, who have already clinched the #1 seed. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
How about that, Carissa? Kyle Allen starting for Carolina. You know who he was a quarterback with in the early going of his college career? Kyler Murray. He and Kyler Murray were at Texas A&M together.
Very interesting. Gallman's still in the game at tailback. He'll get the pitch now. Looking for a seam. Oh, my. Gets belted by Jalen Smith. And he and Van Der Esch for Dallas have formed quite the linebacking duo.
Quite the linebacking duo, unless you have to play against them, because this is no fun. And look at him, straight up. Gallman knows it's coming, and there's no getting away. Jalen Smith took away the cutback and then came through and put him on the deck. Well played.
Single. 5, single. Express, set.
Quick count. Here comes Lawrence. Manning decked as he throws it. It's intercepted out of midair. It's picked off by Antoine Woods. DeMarcus Lawrence with his 11.5 sack on the year. He knocked it in the air, and Antoine Woods, very alert, picks up the interception. Cowboys football. Well, right now, Antoine Woods is ready to celebrate his first career interception. They're looking, they might change it to a fumble recovery depending on where the arm was, but we'll let you know. The bottom line is it's Dallas's football. DeMarcus Lawrence wreaking havoc with the sack. Knocked into Manning as he was about to throw it, so the Cowboys have the football for the second time today. 4:15 to go in this first quarter. We are scoreless, and here's Prescott with some pressure. Gets it to Rod Smith right over the middle. And he's going to pick up about 8, but we have a penalty flag as well, and we'll see what that is. So there's Manning, looks like
there's no foul for defensive holding. It'll be second down.
Well, here is the deal for Eli Manning, and a lot of people wondering, well, you know, is this it for him as a Giant? Well, the first 8 games of the year, he did not play well. He also got sacked 1,000,000 times. Last 7 games, been protected better, playing a lot better on the move. But today, he's had a little bit of a rough go with the interception. Right now, 2 interceptions. We'll see how they rule that last one, as Smith is going to be, I believe, a hair shy of a first. B.J. Hill was there on the stop. So he had been playing well since the bye, Charles, but now the interception in the end zone, and then the one there, which he got hit on, and not a great start.
So if I'm being a little snarky, he's really 7 for 7.
Yes.
Right? but here's the deal. Coming into this game, and I don't think it's going to change no matter what we see, head coach Pat Shurmur is a big believer in Eli Manning, believes that they can continue to win games. You get the sense that Giant management feels the same way. So don't expect that, you know, these 2 interceptions, all of a sudden they just change up, and he's no longer the answer going forward.
3rd and 1. Handed off. Smith waiting for a seam. Spins away. Nice move by Rod Smith, who got stopped initially but pulled out the old 360, and he picks up 9.
360 with a little shoulder to lead. Watch Rod Smith as you described, Kevin. See the shoulder first as he drops that on Curtis Riley. And as you noted, kept his feet moving, spun out of the attempted tackle before Tay Davis ran him down.
Movement. There's a flag. Prescott has time. Going to let it rip. Knocked away. B.W. Webb made the play. Trying to get it to Michael Gallup, but I think the Giants jumped early.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So the second penalty on B.J. Hill today. And the Cowboys trying to hurry it up. Well, you could hear Prescott's cadence.
Did a nice job of utilizing that cadence to draw B.J. Hill offside. As you noted, they've upped the tempo on offense.
Smith has a seam, makes a cut. Rod Smith running hard. Rod Smith in place of Ezekiel Elliott down to the 15. And another first down for Dallas.
So you end up getting good blocking on that play, and then nice vision by Rod Smith to find the gap, and he let his feet carry him through it. And as you noted, Kevin, Dallas continuing to stay at the line of scrimmage and play a little bit quicker.
Fake to Smith. Prescott rolling left, firing incomplete. Get some pressure from Vernon as Schultz the intended target. Second down. You know, Dak Prescott, Charles, is interesting. You think about a couple years ago, his rookie year, they won the division, and then they had an 11-game win streak. And the last game of the year, similar situation, didn't mean anything. He played what, a series, maybe 2. he really wanted to play the whole game today. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he was anxious to play and play well.
He wants to be very decisive in what he does in this game today, and then they're playing a little bit faster as you've seen the offense up the tempo.
Pressure, Vernon gets there. Olivier Vernon is going to pick up the sack, giving him 5.5 on the year.
And this is an example of what he was trying to avoid. Remember, I just said he wants to be more decisive? He wants to get the ball, make his read, and get the ball to a receiver. Well, there's no one there, so he has to hold it longer in the pocket. And one of the criticisms of Dak Prescott in his play, he takes too many sacks, doesn't get rid of the football. Another example there, although he just wanted to make sure he didn't give the ball away on a turnover.
Yeah, he's been sacked 53 times. That's 31st in the NFL and hit a lot more. 3rd and 11. Prescott, pressure again. Runs away from it, throws on the run. It's just going to throw it into the stands and get it away. Pressure from Kerry Wynn, and promising drive after the turnover as they stop and will settle for a field goal.
And how about some love for the Giants defense down the stretch? There's Janoris Jenkins, who nearly had a pick 6 earlier in the game, taking away that, doubling Amari Cooper between Riley and Grant Haley. Haley. Nowhere to go with, and Dak Prescott wisely throws it towards the first 5 rows and sets up a field goal opportunity for Maher.
34 yards out, put the Cowboys on the board. And that is going to be no good. Well, Maher, who's been excellent from long range, has now missed 7 kicks. That from 34 yards. So go figure. He's got a 62-yarder, he's got a 59-yarder, but a 34-yarder is just too difficult. Kickers still scoreless. Well, the Giants have moved the ball their first 2 possessions. It's just that both have ended in Eli Manning interceptions, and so they begin their 3rd possession on offense. Scoreless game as Brett Maher missed a chip shot field goal, and Sean Lee is on the field. Notable because we just don't know what his role is going to be in the playoffs. He came back against Indy a couple weeks ago from the hamstring. He played only 7 snaps. He was inactive, a healthy inactive last week, as Eli Penny makes the catch and makes a nice strong move out to the 30 for a gain of 6. And Charles, so Lee's playing today. Garrett said the idea, get him 10 to 20 snaps. I just wonder what his role is going to be in the playoffs next week.
It's going to be interesting to find out, because I just don't think there's any way that you can displace Leighton Vander Esch at this point. And Jalen Smith plays the middle, and those 2 are working together so well and playing so well. I just don't think you make a disruption in that at all if you're the Dallas Cowboys.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Meanwhile, we have a game break. Let's check back in with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Kevin. So Jets, Patriots clinched the 2 seed with a win. Tom Brady finding James White for the 17-yard score. Jets would add a field goal, pass up 7-3. Kevin, Charles, and Ken.
All right, Carissa, you spelled it out. Patriots win. They've got the bye almost as usual in the playoffs.
And I think it's really crucial for them to have one this year. I think they need a break and need a little retooling.
Should be the last play of the first quarter. Blitz coming. As Barkley looking for something. There is nothing. There's about 8 Cowboys. That's what's there. And he had no chance, as Randy Gregory and others were there for the stop. So we have played 1 quarter from northern New Jersey. Missed field goal. We got a couple interceptions, and we have no points. Giants, Cowboys on Fox. We show you Rod Marinelli on the left, Chris Richard on the right. Those are the 2 coordinating this defense for Dallas, because it's the best first quarter defense the Dallas Cowboys have ever had. 24 points the entire year allowed in the first quarter. That is a crazy number.
Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator by title. And this year, when they brought in Chris Richard to be the passing game coordinator, Rod Marinelli recognized his talents and just told him before the first game, you just go ahead and call it. You just take over the defensive play calling. And they've coexisted quite well throughout this season.
Yeah, it's worked wonderfully. So we start this second quarter with a penalty.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's on Jamon Brown, the right guard, came over, released from the Rams, has fitted and played pretty well. And it'll move the Giants back. And Charles, we've been documenting this line has played better. They made a lot of changes. But they still need help on the offensive line, and this organization knows it.
Still need a lot of help. We saw GM Dave Gettleman in pregame. He didn't say anything to us about it, but you know he's trying to get that offensive line better.
3rd and long. Manning has time. This time, bad throw, incomplete. He tried to get it to Barkley. He just missed him. And the Giants will punt.
Giants have had some early momentum going in this ball game, and each time they've either thrown an interception or found a way to end the drive. 2 penalties set them back there before the misfire by Eli Manning, and there's Tavon Austin back playing after 9 games missed with a groin injury, back returning punts.
So dangerous back there, Charles, so the Cowboys happy to have him back, and that's what they're hoping to get, a special teams player or 2 from him in the playoffs. This one, though, just a fair catch. So the Cowboys, how did they get here at 9-6, looking for their 10th win of the year today? Well, defense, right? I mean, they've allowed under 20 points a game. They've been great all year long, especially against good teams. That helps. Ezekiel Elliott leading the league in rushing. They have already clinched the NFC East. Pam told you about that. Jason Garrett with the hats and the shirts, enjoy them, then give them away, and let's move on. And you know, these Cowboys are looking for bigger and better. There was a point, Charles, they were 3-5. They had lost a Monday nighter to Tennessee. They looked horrible. And you're thinking they're going down the tubes. And Jason Garrett told us that was the defining point of our season. Tavon Austin comes in the game now in the backfield. And he's done that plenty before. But they'll throw it. Prescott. Pressure again, and that's almost intercepted. He was trying to get it to Austin, but off the back foot as Davis came in on the pressure.
Throughout our time covering Dallas and seeing their games, Dak Prescott talks to us a lot about his footwork and being able to be solid in it. And look at this. You mentioned it, Kevin. Off of his back foot, can't get everything on that throw. Connor Barwin gets a left pinky finger on the football to deflect it a little bit. And Tay Davis almost comes up with a diving interception.
Fake on the run. Prescott on the move. Throwing on the move. Into traffic. He's got Cole Beasley, who's got the catch up at midfield for a Dallas first down. Beasley's going to pick up 16 yards.
Early in the game, we saw the Giants get Eli Manning out on the perimeter. Here comes Dak Prescott. And how about the difference in this throw versus the last throw? See how he had his footwork correct? On the move, able to get his body into the throw, and throws an accurate pass downfield.
Darius Jackson in the game in the backfield, number 26. He's been on the Dallas practice squad 3 separate times. Maybe he gets involved here, and that one right through the hands of Amari Cooper was a little high. It's almost like he never saw it. And it's 2nd down. Well, you talked about Dak's footwork and his, his want to play this game and play it sharp and crisp. His offense hasn't been that so far.
They keep trying to help them out a little bit by changing the speed to the tempo that they're playing.
Giants may have jumped again. I think they did, and they're going to get rid of it to Schultz, the tight end. And he's to the 45. But if it is indeed on the Giants, they'll take the penalty. It'll give them an extra yard.
Offside. Defense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And another, you mentioned about Dak Prescott wanting to be clean in his footwork, play this game decisively, as I mentioned earlier. They want to get Amari Cooper going again. All right, think about what he had going. 217 yards against Philadelphia. The last 2 games, he's averaging, 4 catches and 26 yards per game.
2 targets, no catches. Blitz coming. Prescott hits it, throws it, got a man wide open. There was Cooper, and he missed him. He had heavy pressure, but you got to connect on that one, and it's incomplete.
In this case for the Giants, I think the heavy pressure saved them because Cooper was running free downfield, but the pressure didn't allow Dak Prescott to be accurate with the ball downfield. He ends up overshooting his target on a play that should have been 6 points for the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys 2 of 4 on 3rd down. Just under 40% on the year. Back to throw, tosses it over the middle. There is Austin with a little stutter move and a first down. Tavon Austin getting some touches. Again, that kind of that gadget guy, but back and another weapon that Jason Garrett could use in the playoffs.
And such a gadget that you can use him out wide. You can use him in the slot. And as you noted earlier, he lined up in the backfield. He would actually get carries as a tailback if they so choose. He did that when he was with the Rams.
Watch out. Hey, easy, 93 somebody, 93 somebody. You're good, just stay. Wide,
Four-man rush. Prescott has time, pumps a couple times, trips, stays alive. Now he's going to pump again and run. And Prescott can do just that as he's going to go down at the 31. So we'll give him about 4 yards.
So watch right here, Janoris Jenkins. He doesn't buy the stop and go route, and that's exactly where Dak Prescott wanted to go with the ball. Look at his eyes. See how to pump? There's a pump it, can't throw it because Jenkins took it away. Has to exit the pocket and try and make something happen on the other side. Excellent coverage by Janoris Jenkins.
Market is 3 yards on second down. And a carry going to Darius Jackson. Darius Jackson's first offensive touch of his career. He got a kick return, but for him, again, has bounced around. He's been on the Cowboys practice squad 3 separate times. To have his first NFL touch, going to feel pretty good for the young man.
Not bad. Remember, he was a 6th-round draft choice by them in 2016. And his stock and trade, speed. The guy can actually flat out go if you give him some open space. See him with Gary Brown, the running backs coach, on the sidelines.
And so it'll bring him another third down. 3rd and 3 here. And they have Olawale, the fullback, in the game. There to help with the blitz, stays in the block, and a catch down Cooper. And now where do they spot the football? Looks like a first down, and it is a first down. Getting it to Amari Cooper for Dallas.
So watch Cooper coming from inside. He's the 3rd receiver in. Breaks off against Grant Haley, the nickel back. Knows where the first down marker is. Look at him reaching, understanding what gets it for him, and even shifting it to the left hand to get even more length to ensure he picked up the first down. A nice veteran play by Cooper.
Jackson again. Looking right. Not much there. Just heads on into the pile. You know, and it's worth noting, we told you Ezekiel Elliott getting the rest today, trying to get him all healthy. He's been fighting through some lingering stuff. And then Zach Martin and Tyron Smith are 2 best offensive linemen. If this were the playoffs today, they'd be playing. They're resting, so that makes a difference.
On our Fox pregame kickoff show, Coach Dave Wanstead talked about that the #1 thing for the Cowboys, of course, Zeke's going to power them in the playoffs, but their #1 issue is getting those guys healthy. That's why they're not playing today. I think if there's a playoff game, Smith and Zach Martin both would be on the field.
We talked to Martin yesterday. He said, oh, trust me, I'm playing next week. 2nd down and 7. Prescott. Over the middle, good catch of Beasley. Beasley trying to spin away, but he's going to get taken down at the 10-yard line by B.J. Goodson. But for Dallas, it'll be a first down.
Well, this is back to where Cole Beasley loves to be involved. You get him these little short option routes, little shallow cross, gets underneath. Dak Prescott had plenty of time to let traffic clear, and he almost shakes himself free from B.J. Goodson. But if it's 3rd down or a key catch, Cole Beasley believes he's the guy the ball should come to.
Here's Jackson. Short gain inside the 10 as Thomas was there on the tackle. Twelfth play of this drive coming up for the Cowboys. And again, you don't know how long Dak Prescott's going to play. We know he wants to play the whole thing. Somehow I doubt that will happen, but I think at least this drive certainly starting to feel a little bit better than the last couple.
Kill, no!
Jackson on the run. And that will close quickly, and we get a penalty flag as well.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Let's take a look and see what we can see. And right in here, you see right there, I think the left hand ended up grabbing the mask of safety Michael Thomas. Lyle Collins, number 71, getting called for that. There's Tyron Smith, another Pro Bowl selection, his 6th time in 2018. It hasn't been his best season overall.
Giants may have jumped off sides for the 3rd time today. It's Olawale, the fullback, on the catch. But again, we see what the penalty is. That might be the 3rd one. And Prescott working that cadence pretty well.
Offside. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Dak Prescott's cadence has generated 2 of the better plays for Dallas so far in this game. 2nd time he's pulled them off. If you're the coordinator, James Bettcher, it's driving you crazy. Your guys helping out a Dallas offense that struggled all year long in the red zone. They come into the game 30th in the league in red zone touchdowns. And here the Giants are helping them out when they're already having issues.
Prescott fakes left, going to set up a screen, tipped away nicely. That looked like it was headed for success, but Lorenzo Carter, the rookie, got his hand in there. We got a 3rd down.
Boy, did he read that well and danced it so well in addition, because they gave a couple of different fakes, but Carter ended up realizing on the 3rd move that it was the screen, and instead of continuing towards the quarterback, he fell back into coverage and got a long arm up and knocked it away.
Charles, this is where the Cowboys have struggled in the red zone all year. It's been their bugaboo. This 3rd and 12, they can get a 1st down at the 1. Prescott. Pocket collapses, fires, end zone, touchdown! It's Blake Jarwin, and forget the red zone struggles.
But watch Jarwin just get through here unencumbered. No one hits him off the line of scrimmage. It's a zone coverage. Really, it's what they call the Tampa 2, with the linebacker dropping in the middle, 2 deep coverage, and he runs through scot-free. And Prescott's able to find him easily for the touchdown.
And the extra point is up and good. So the Cowboys getting what they wanted coming into this one, a good drive and a finish. 13 plays, 65 yards, and the Prescott touchdown pass to Jarwin. Cowboys have the lead. So Dak Prescott hitting Blake Jarwin on a 3rd and long, 13-yard touchdown catch. And it gets the Cowboys on the board, 7-0. They lead the Giants with 8:11 to go.
And that was way too easy, Kevin. With that coverage that the Giants had, Nate Stupar was the linebacker in the middle. Jarwin actually ran in his line of sight across his face to the end zone, and there was never an adjustment. And that's what that linebacker in that coverage, he's supposed to be able to take away those crossing routes. He didn't do anything on that one. Jarwin found it easy.
Como will let it go. Giants will start on their own 25, and we'll be right back after this message from State Farm. Cowboys have the lead over the Giants. 8:11 to go in this first half. Byron Jones, he is a Pro Bowl player for the first time in his career at cornerback.
Not a single interception. That tells you about his coverage ability and the respect he gets.
It's rare. It's Barkley. Not much there. The Dallas tight ends have really come to life of late. Pam Oliver, I know you have a little more on that.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, he really loves the tight end Blake Jarwin, who scored that touchdown there. On plays that Jarwin and Prescott may not have failed to communicate properly, Jarwin told us that he will text Prescott after the game to ask him what he saw on any given play. This is a kid who wants to get better. The Cowboys need their tight ends to step up.
Dak told us, it says a lot about him, right? For him to come say, hey, it's my bad, this is what I did wrong. Taking accountability as Manning sees some pressure. Barkley wasn't even looking. And the Giants, who started out the opening drive going right down the field for the interception in the end zone, now on offense are a little lost.
Yeah, and to put a cap on it, Pam, I think what he was talking about, our game that we did, Dallas-Indianapolis. There's an interception that Dak threw that was intended for Blake Jarwin, and Dak thought he was going to run the route one way. Blake ran it another. Blake Jarwin, as you noted, texted Dak afterwards to say, hey, What I do wrong on that one? So their communication continues to get better, and they need those tight ends to continue to play better as they move into the playoffs.
Jalen Smith, the only linebacker on during the dime coverage for the Cowboys. So Van Der Esch and Lee sitting. Smith loves the blitz. He's not going to do it here. Everyone else is. Manning on the run, throws on the run, and no one is home. Sterling Shepard had fallen down. He was looking for a flag, not going to get it. Giants 3 and out.
Kevin, you remember Jalen Smith telling us that he felt his explosiveness starting to come back around Thanksgiving last season? It's all the way back. He showed blitz there, came off of the blitz to cover Saquon Barkley man-to-man out of the backfield and had him locked up out in the flat. We also saw that explosive last week with the 69-yard fumble recovery return for a touchdown against Tampa.
Very true. Dixon to punt to Austin. This is a low sinker. He's going to take a bounce. Austin's going to let it go. And the Cowboys will take over the football. So the Cowboys try to get their offense in sync. They're in sync right now, up 7-0, taking the field when we come back. Well, in the NFC, there's one spot left. Who's going to get it? The Vikings. The Vikings host the Bears. That's got a game with a lot of meaning coming up a little later on Fox. But if Minnesota were to lose and the Eagles were beat the Redskins, Philly is back in. That's a big couple of games coming up later on Fox. So the bottom line is just leave your TV where it is. All that coming up just a little later. Swing pass. It's Beasley who gets his way out to the 30. We get a penalty flag as well. Penalties in this game. Giants already 6 of them. Cowboys have just 1.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It's on Michael Gallup, the rookie wide receiver. So here is what's going on in these 4 o'clock games. Bears and Vikings. Vikings win, they're in. Simple as that. Bears, by the way, if the Rams were to somehow lose and Bears win, Bears would get the 2 seed and a bye. Eagles have to win and have a Vikings loss, and then the Birds are back in. Rams, simple for them. They beat the 49ers. They've got the 2 seed and a first-round bye. So those are the basic scenarios coming up a little later. Here, we already know the Cowboys are in there, the 4 seed. We're looking to finish on a strong note and get some momentum going into next week. Giants season, well, it's been over for a while. Mark Colombo, you remember him? Former Cowboy offensive lineman.
Very much so.
And Charles, he was on this staff, you know, to start the year, but he wasn't one of the lead guys as far as coaching this offensive line.
Paul Alexander was.
They fired Paul Alexander, and I don't know if you could put it in perspective how important that move has been.
It was huge because the way that they were taught to do things previously, Alexander changed a lot of that for the veteran guys.
There's Prescott throwing. Good catch! And a tough catch on a high throw, but Gallup's going to haul it on in and get out to the 29.
And how about it making up for the penalty he had previously to go up and get that one? But the veteran guys were taught a different way. As we see Dak Prescott, the ball sails on him a little, and look at Gallup go up and get it. And so when Paul Alexander changed everything and then they fired him and they brought back Colombo, it was back to business. Business as usual. Zach Martin told us that's what we were comfortable doing, and it was an easy transition, and the line has played much better as a result.
Yeah, Martin told us it was just a huge move, and their line has been a lot better since they did that. 3rd down, Giants coming with a blitz. Prescott sees it, gets it to Beasley, first down. And a move from Cole Beasley, who is breaking tackles out across the 45 to the 47. So a blitz beater to Beasley, and the Cowboys are going to pick up 18.
Nice job figuring out where the best matchup was for the Cowboys by Dak Prescott, the quarterback. He looks up and sees Kenny Ladler, number 33, who they got from Washington from earlier this season. He's out in coverage against Cole Beasley. Ladler is really a backup safety man. They like that matchup all day long. Beasley takes advantage.
Beasley has gotten back into the offense. He's got 12 catches the last 3 weeks. He was almost invisible since they got Cooper, which, you know, in a way was a good thing. Jackson with the run across midfield for Dallas. Wits get another game break. Say hello to Kurt Menefee.
Hi. The Patriots wrap up at least a first-round bye with a win over the Jets, and they're doing just that. 3 touchdown passes from Tom Brady already this one. That one to Philip Dorsett is 21-3 early in the second quarter. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
Well, hi to you, Kurt. And the Patriots doing what we expected, looking to clinch that number 2 seed.
Hey, here we go. Let's go. Travel. You gotta shoot. Hey, go to 58. Go to 58. Oh, wrong one. Second.
Four-man rush. Prescott standing in now. He's in trouble. Just tries to throw it away. They say he was down. So that is going to go down as a sack by Vernon, who's got 2 today. So we told you about the Patriots. Here is another one of importance in these early games today. The Texans. They are leading the Jaguars now. If they get a little luck, they could jump ahead of the Patriots. Doesn't look like they're going to happen. But right now, Charles, they're just looking to win the division and stay where they are. If they win, they will do that.
Remember, the Indianapolis at Tennessee game tonight is a win and in the playoffs. They were hoping the Texans would lose because then it would be a battle for the division.
Right. That's the thing. Texans are in the playoffs, but they could actually lose the division and be a wild card. 3rd and 10. Prescott throws. It is complete to Jarwin, the tight end, and a good, strong effort. And Blake Jarwin is going to have a Cowboys first down.
How about the contrast between the last 2 plays? Dak Prescott in the pocket, takes too long to find anyone open. Very careful with the football so he doesn't get rid of it and make it a turnover, and takes a sack. How about this one? Hits the back foot, gets rid of the football on time to Blake Jarwin. That's what Dak Prescott wants to do in this game. That's what he told us in our meeting. Be decisive, get the football to the receivers.
Pressure. Prescott going deep down the far sideline for Gallup. Incomplete. And there's a flag. I think B.W. Webb may have used his hands a little too much. We'll see. And he obviously is objecting to the call.
And B.W. Webb saying, well, there was an official right there running down with us. He doesn't throw the flag. How are you throwing it from the middle of the field? Well, this is why. Look at the left arm of B.W. Webb taking Michael Gallup over the sideline. That's exactly why that call came. And the official on the inside can't see it.
Defense, number 23. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
And the official in the middle of the field could. That was the back judge, Greg Wilson, who had a clear view inside to see the left arm take Michael Gallup over the sideline.
Yeah, you can object all you want, but you can't shove someone out of bounds 30 yards downfield. And so it goes down as a 23-yard penalty. Giants, 7 penalties now against them. They'll run. Jackson. Nothing left and nothing at all as Morrow was there with some help, as well as Kareem Martin. You know, Charles, I think you're talking about Prescott and his decisiveness and the footwork, things he talked about us with. I personally think, though, for Dallas to advance to the playoffs, I think he's got to run the ball more, especially in this area of the field.
I don't think there's any question about it, but I don't think we'll see it today. See, I think that now that they've clinched the playoffs, they want him to be sharper on the field, but I don't think that they're going to want him to break out the legs. We've seen it in the red zone, closer to inside the 15. I think he's got to do it out in the field more, and that'll take some pressure off of his.
He said, I think you'll see that more, but you're right. Maybe not till next week. Prescott, touchdown pass, Cowboys 7-0, 2-minute warning.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Patriots try to hold on to a first-round bye simply by beating the Jets, while the Texans try to steal it from them as they host the Jaguars. We'll break down the playoff picture for you coming up on the Visa halftime.
Kurt, look forward to that. The Giants faithful out today, despite the game not meaning much. But this is a loyal fan base. But the Giants coming in at 5-10. A lot of Cowboys fans here too. 2 minutes to go. Red zone offense. Huge story for Dallas all year. They're looking to play well there today. And here is Prescott on second down. Has time now. Going to come near side, and I wonder if that was on purpose because he saw Goodson closing in on Jackson.
I think you're exactly right about that. He had excellent protection. So give the Giants credit for their coverage downfield and in the short zone, as you just noted with Goodson, taking Jackson out of the backfield and taking away that opportunity for Prescott.
Cowboys on third down today, 7 of 9.
See what kind of matchup Cole Beasley can get here. This is his opportunity. Here's Beasley.
Prescott stands in, firing end zone. Same play, same result. Touchdown, Jarwin.
And James Betcher, the defensive coordinator, likes to blitz, doesn't on this play. Watch him working on Michael Thomas, number 31, inside, and they get Thomas looking in one direction and sneak the other receiver behind him. Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin worked in tandem, the two tight ends. Schultz short, Jarwin in the end zone for the touchdown.
Maher with the extra point, and it's up and through. So Blake Jarwin, his first 2 touchdown catches of his career. And Dak Prescott taking all those red zone issues and saying, yeah, take that. A 13-yarder and then a 19-yarder to Jarwin. And Jason Garrett looks like he just got what he wanted for Christmas. 14-zip, Dallas. So Blake Jarwin, who's continued to kind of emerge here ever since Jeff Swaim, the starting tight end, got hurt. Well, now he's got his first 2 touchdown catches of his career. You see, he didn't have any of the first 16 games. Not only that, Charles, but he has really come on.
Yeah, and this is what Pam Oliver talked about earlier when she talked about Blake Jarwin and Dak Prescott and their communication and getting on the same page, so to speak. It really continues to get better. The trust factor is huge now for Dak Prescott, knowing that Blake Jarwin's going to be there for him. And that's exactly what they need as they head towards the playoffs.
Here's Coleman. Will take it out. Corey Coleman. 20 and to the 25, and he's out of bounds across the 25. Well, tomorrow the Redbox Bowl kicks off between Oregon and Michigan State, 2:30 Eastern on Fox, and then flip it over to FS1. Number 17 Utah battles number 22 Northwestern in the San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl, 6:30 Eastern, or catch it all on Fox, the Fox Sports app. Northwestern, Pat Fitzgerald, maybe talking to the Packers.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of rumors about that. How about those 2 bowl games? Big Ten versus Pac-12.
By the way, you see Eli Manning, 1 interception. Remember, he threw interceptions on back-to-back possessions. And we'll tell you in a second after this pass. Coming near side, Latimer makes the catch. And Cody Latimer is going to be, I think, a little bit shy of a first down. So they changed the second interception. I don't know why. When they remember the sack, DeMarcus Lawrence, they say that was a fumble. So Antoine Woods, who was celebrating his first career interception as a defensive lineman, now doesn't have it.
It's a fumble recovery.
Oh, it's not the same. Going deep for Latimer here, and it's a little out of reach. Byron Jones was stride for stride.
So they went back-to-back plays, same receiver against the same cornerback. Byron Jones, you noted earlier in the game, going to the Pro Bowl for the first time. 0 interceptions for the season. But the respect factor about his coverage ability is all over the place. And here he's got to run back up to the line of scrimmage as the Giants are going a little bit quicker.
They're going to run it here, and there's just not been much room for Saquon Barkley, as that's only going to put him up to 32 yards in this first. He had 27 yards his first 2 carries.
Able to pick up the first down, though, move the sticks for the Giants.
Minute left in this half. Each team with all 3 of their timeouts. Here's Manning. Steps away from pressure, dumps it off to Barkley. Has some room. Saquon Barkley, first down, all the way to the 45 before Leighton Vander Esch, fellow rookie, knocks him down. And a timeout on the field with 47 seconds left.
Remember what Jason Garrett told us about what he told Dak Prescott? Look for your guys downfield, but if you don't have anything, just dump it out to 21, meaning Ezekiel Elliott. That works for Eli Manning, except the number's 26, and it's Saquon Barkley. See, he's ruffled in the pocket, but Barkley comes right into his sight line, and that's good understanding by the rookie that his quarterback's in trouble. Just get right in front of him and say, hey, here I am. Dump it to me, and let's see what I can get done. And then at the end of the run, may have gotten his ankle twisted underneath. And look at that. Just set a new record. Most receptions all time by a rookie running back, breaking Reggie Bush's record.
So Wayne Gallman comes in the game to replace Barkley. Here's Manning, back to throw, hits Gallman. Gallman spins away from a tackle, and he stays in bounds. Again, the Giants have 2 timeouts, and they will use one here with 42 seconds to go. And Barkley itching to get back on the field. So for Eli Manning in his 15th season, well, some wonder if this could be it as a Giant. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Look at this, most starts with 1 team. Brady at 304. Favre with 275. Marino 258. John Elway 252. And then you're talking Eli Manning 542 starts with one team. It's just unheard of. Obviously, we showed you Brady, and he's still doing it, but it's pretty impressive, Charles.
And him entering the call, remember, 210 consecutive starts that ended last year, not because of injury.
There's a blitz. Manning fires off his back foot, looking for Ingram, incomplete.
And his durability and his availability have been very impressive throughout his career. For Eli Manning, you notice his NFL ranks all time. Those are numbers that get your eyes open, don't they?
You know, turns 38 years old in January. 4-time Pro Bowler, the most important 2-time Super Bowl winner. 2016 Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. Third down. Manning fires, and it's caught into traffic. Sterling Shepard down to the 20. Well, the Giants call their final timeout. Doesn't look like. Oh, now there is a whistle, and they do. So the Giants will use their final timeout with 29 seconds to go, but now they've got an opportunity to get on the board.
So watch Shepard, 87 in blue, come into the middle. There's Sean Lee. He goes to cover him, but he's got his back turned to the quarterback, never sees the football. He goes to pick up Sterling Shepard, and look at Sean Lee's eyes. They're watching Shepard, 87. He has no idea that the ball's coming in behind him, and Shepard moved in the opposite direction to catch the football before Xavier Woods makes a tackle downfield.
Cowboys trying to work Sean Lee back. He was playing with Jalen Smith earlier. Now he's out there with Van Der Esch trying to get those pairings used to each other. So 31 seconds to go in the half. Manning. Here comes pressure. Throws incomplete. Ducked out of the way as pressure was coming. Tried to get it to Ingram.
And that's, no, go ahead, Kevin.
Second down. Sorry, Charles.
That's all right. That's Taco Charlton putting the pressure. And that's something that Cowboys fans and Cowboy organization excited about seeing. Okay, watch Charlton. Watch him work. All right, see there? Now he works inside and gets a little bit of pressure on Eli Manning. He had been a healthy scratch, had missed 2 previous games before Tampa Bay, where they just decided not to have him active. Got him going again last week. Happy to see him get a pass rush.
This time Manning has time. This time he's going for the end zone for Shepard. Nowhere near him. Incomplete. Pretty good coverage back there, too. Jeff Heath, the safety, came over to help. Third down.
Jeff Heath had some help on that one, didn't he? You know what it was? It's the sideline. Sideline came into play. Just no room left. And sometimes you get that extra defender, whether it's the sideline or the back of the end zone, where a receiver has no space to come down.
Go to 55.
Manning going end zone again. This time for Latimer. He hauls it in. Touchdown.
One foot down. Is the second one coming down? Yes. Grasping the ball with his left arm to the body only. Completes the process of the catch. He even does it with Byron Jones grabbing his inside arm and keeping it away. That's why he couldn't bring the second arm up to catch it. Look at him. He's got him down in there. But how about the catch by Latimer? He has blocked off his right arm from coming up to help. So Latimer says, I'll just take one arm and possess it for the touchdown.
First touchdown of the year for Latimer as Rosas, the Pro Bowl kicker, punches the extra point hole. That was pretty. Though the Giants, you know, they were kind of stuck in neutral offensively, and they come down with 15 seconds left and a 21-yard touchdown, a beauty of a throw and catch from Manning to Latimer.
There's Chris Richard, the secondary coach, coaching up Byron Jones. A beautiful play because Latimer didn't just beat Byron Jones upfield. Kevin, he was able to get a step ahead and wrap around him to get him back on his body, and that allowed him to actually make that circus catch. Because you're always taught as a defensive back, you've got to take away the upfield arm. See, if you don't take away the upfield arm, see, that's the arm that can cradle a ball back into the body. If you take away the inside arm there, that's harder to do. In that case, he had the inside arm. He said, okay, fine, upfield arm, cradled it, and made a fantastic catch. But his ability to get upfield and wrap around allowed him to make that happen.
A little bowling action. He had a little, Earl Anthony torque on that one.
We're going to head over to Chelsea Piers afterwards and get a few frames in.
Funny, right? We just showed you the graphic of Eli Manning and all these consecutive starts. He's like, yeah, I'd like to have a few more, I think.
Yeah, and he's, listen, I can't speak for him. I have the feeling that he's thinking, I'm going to be back here and be the starting quarterback in 2019. And it's up to Dave Gettleman, the GM, Pat Shurmur, the head coach, to get some more players and get some more weapons around there and keep retooling that offensive line.
And so we have ourselves a game with 15 seconds to go in this first half from MetLife Stadium. That's the Giants scoring drive, 14-7. And the Cowboys just come on out and take a knee here. Halftime show coming up. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Tony. A couple of big games in terms of playoff seeding going on right now, and then a ton of big games coming up later. We'll update you on all of that as we go to the break with a 7-point lead for Dallas. Plays of the first half presented by DirecTV. More for your thing, that's our thing. Well, Dak Prescott, nice first half for him. Couple of touchdown passes, the first two of Blake Jarwin's career. 13 yards and then 19 yards on a rope. That put Dallas in front, and that's where they stand right now. Prescott, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you wonder if you'll see him in the second half with the Cowboys. And you think maybe they'll rest some players after a pretty good offensive half where they had 184 yards total.
Be interesting to see, because remember, the backup quarterback, Cooper Rush, he's up, but the third quarterback, Mike White, is not. So they may be planning to use Dak Prescott just a little bit longer. We'll see.
Meanwhile, the Giants come back and they make it a game on this beauty. Eli Manning to the corner in tight coverage against Byron Jones. Cody Latimer says, you know what, I'll take that.
It's a great catch. It's a beautiful throw as well. Put it in the perfect spot to give Latimer a chance to make a play on the football.
I think Dak Prescott is saying, you know what, I'd like to play. Jason Garrett says, well, you're not playing anymore.
Are you ready for the sequel? Ain't you ready for the latest? Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Everything's coming up places, places. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me.
Today's Game Flow brought to you by Progressive. A little Panic at the Disco, getting in a good mood for this third quarter here from MetLife Stadium, where the Cowboys will receive 14-7 Dallas, who won the initial toss and deferred, so they will get the ball here. Now, who is going to play quarterback? Is it going to be Dak Prescott, or will he take a rest, and will we see Cooper Rush to start this third quarter? A lot on the line as we find out. As Aldrick Rosas, the Pro Bowl kicker for the Giants, had a wonderful year, will kick things off. Dallas will start on their own 25, and we go downstairs to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. For the New York Giants, head coach Pat Shurmur, he was really pleased with the number of things that he saw. He feels like his ball club is, quote, playing their butts off. He said, minus those 2 turnovers, this could be a tie ball game. Now, he will play his starters for the second half. Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett, he said, we did some nice things. He complimented the offense's ability to move the ball, Dak on those 2 red zone scores, and the defense getting those 2 turnovers. I asked him about his starters. He said, we're going.
Well, no joke, because Prescott is playing. I have to say I'm a little surprised. And, you know, sometimes these games, Charles, we've done a couple of these games and they say, oh, we're going to play everybody, and never.
Yeah.
But, you know, Dak said he really wanted to play the whole game, and at least to start the third quarter, he's there.
Yeah, and Jason Garrett really wanted him to play more in this game, obviously, by having him out here, because he wants this offense getting back in the groove that they had going into Philadelphia and through Philadelphia. Remember, Indianapolis was a disaster.
Yeah.
They got shut out in that game. And last week, they got outgained by 151 yards in Tampa. So he wants to see more out of this offense as they move towards the playoffs.
And they had a pretty good first half. Prescott 2 touchdown passes. And looking to throw it again against a 4-man rush. Now the pocket collapses, and Prescott goes down. He had some time initially, but Lorenzo Carter, I think, will get the sack with the ankle trip, and we have an injured Cowboys lineman on the play. And, you know, keep in mind here as you look at it, that's Xavier Su'a-Filo. He's the starting left guard. Already they came into the game with Martin and Smith resting and out. So they're inactive, so they only have 1 backup now to play. Su'a-Filo has done a really nice job since taking over that starter's role about midway through the season. And that's the last thing you want to be the Cowboys. Injuries. They tend to him. Martin and Frederick look on. Xavier Su'a-Filo, the starting left guard for the Cowboys, got rolled up on, but he is walking off seemingly okay, so that is good news. You see a couple of the guys that are out. Travis Frederick, their star center's been out all year. Zach Martin, their all-pro right guard, could have played today, but resting that knee. And so Adam Redmond, the only healthy lineman left to play, is in there on the left side now. And that play is not going to go anywhere to Jarwin, who had the big first half. And Charles, I'm going to ask you, we talked to you, we heard from Pam about, Jason Garrett's going to play his starters and Dak's going to play. But now that you have 3 backup offensive linemen, you're going to go with that plan for a while?
You may rethink that and think about Cooper Rush coming in and playing quarterback now, because you don't want your starting quarterback with an uncertain offensive line getting hit too often. The thing that puzzled me about this game was the third quarterback, Mike White, was not active for this game. So if they do bring Cooper Rush in, guess what? If he gets hurt, Dak Prescott has to come back in. So you see the Cowboys trying to get something planned.
Coleman on the punt return. Good punt return from Corey Coleman down to the 45 for Olawale. Tripped him up. So is Travis Frederick trying to coach up Karan Reed how to play guard? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's go down and get more from Pam.
Because left guard Xavier Su'a-Filo, he has a left ankle injury. They are taping that ankle up as we speak. There's no official word from the Cowboys on his status, but he is trying apparently to get back in there.
All right, Pam, thanks. So that's obviously good news. I mean, it's not too terribly serious.
But it is always a good idea to go to your emergency plan and have it ready to go just in case. Karan Reed out of Princeton, he's smart enough to adapt, but can he do it on the fly?
That would be something.
118.
Here's a pitch to Barkley, looking for a block, and he's just got nowhere to go. Cowboys just waiting for him. And Jalen Smith was there initially. So Saquon Barkley got off to a quick start, but has been bottled up since. 7 carries for 32 yards total. And Charles, he's had such a great year. Last couple weeks rushing, though, have not been the same. It seems to me the teams are loading up the box pretty good.
They certainly are. And one of the things you've got to do is find a way to get the field spread, hit a few other people to give them some lanes to run through later.
Again, without Odell Beckham for the 4th consecutive week. Here's Manning to throw on the rollout and just missed Shepard, who had his hands on it, couldn't catch it. 3rd down. So Eli Manning in the first half, they list him as 1 interception, essentially had 2, although they ruled the second one as a fumble. Had the touchdown, a beauty of a throw at the end of the half. How'd you think he played?
I thought that there were flashes in there where that first drive, they march right downfield and he throws the interception because he doesn't think Awuzie, the corner, is going to drop back into coverage. He fooled him on that one. The second one, as you noted, the fumble that goes in the air, but a gorgeous throw to Latimer for the touchdown pass. It's just the consistency, and that's been something that they've seen all year.
Hit immediately as he throws. Fowler made the catch, but Jalen Smith, who's playing out of his mind here today, makes a great tackle. And 4th down, Giants going to go. Eli Manning says, why not? You're 5-10.
I don't know why you'd even think about not going, right, if that would ended up being the case. This is a great opportunity, just down 7. Go ahead and go for it here.
Giants 10 of 17 on 4th down on the year, and the crowd likes it.
Remember, Barkley is your safety valve out of the backfield.
Manning. Time, firing, completely holding on despite a wicked hit is Fowler. Woods came in and brought the wood from the safety spot, but Benny Fowler for the 1st down.
A tremendous catch by Benny Fowler. Because look at Xavier Woods doing it the way that it's taught in the NFL in 2018. Watch the shoulder come in and jolt him.
Here's
Barkley. And he holds on.
And not much for Barkley with Jalen Smith there again. Help from Vandress. Eli Manning, Charles, in speaking to Pat Shurmur the other day, and we'll look at that hit again. I just get the sense that there's a couple things here. And Pat Shurmur, A, feels comfortable with Eli Manning, and B, feels that he is not the issue. He is not the reason that they are where they are.
Well, we've talked about it before. The offensive line has to be rebuilt. They've got to get better there. They need consistency from the wide receiver position. Odell Beckham Jr., they need help in 16 games out of him, where he's locked in on being the #1 receiver for the team.
Here's Ingram in the flat, tries to break a tackle, and nicely done as Heath brought him down to minimize the damage. Look, there's a couple factors here, right? Manning's going into his final year of his deal at $23 million. That's a lot of money. They have to make a decision, by March. There's going to be some more money there. But yeah, I think the second part of this equation is if you're going to move on, who are you moving on to?
Yes.
Exactly?
I mean, if you're looking at free agents in the NFL, could Teddy Bridgewater be available? Could Nick Foles be available? And then the other part of it is drafting.
You get a penalty here.
This is not a banner year for quarterbacks coming out in the NFL draft, at least not what we're seeing right now. I will tell you, over the years, quarterbacks become better the closer we get to the
Prior
draft.
to the snap, false start. Offense, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And you know what I mean by that, right, Kevin? Like, we grade him in one way, but the closer you get to the draft and you need a quarterback, he gets better. Oh, wow, I really like him. I think Dwayne Haskins' decision out of Ohio State will be the key to this draft for quarterbacks. If he decides to come out, I think he rises to the top of that list. If he stays in school, then you've got a real battle because Kyler Murray, he's your wild card. He's supposed to be going to play baseball, but a lot of people are talking about him wanting to play football now.
Manning on third down, pressure from Reed. Here's Barkley looking to make a move, and just everybody from the Cowboys coming out. Barkley is amazing, but there's nothing you could do there as Van Der Esch and a bunch of others, you see them kind of laughing at each other. Well played, fourth down. Now here is a real bright spot for the Giants this year. We mentioned Aldrick Rosas to the Pro Bowl. Charles, I mean, coming in today, he did 58 of 60 kicks. So obviously he's got the extra point. It's now 59 of 61. Look at that percentage. It's the highest combined kicks in the NFL. This is a guy who had a terrible year last year, and give credit to the Giants. They stuck with him. And he's also the size of a monster linebacker. Rosas is good again. What a kicker. And if you need a hit at linebacker, you'd use him there too. Giants come a little closer. Rosas on the field goal. So we're having a little fun with the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrick Rosas, his great year, and his size. So the Giants have had 3 Pro Bowl kickers in the history. Remember Ali Haji-Sheik? I know my dad does. So he's 6 foot 172.
Michigan. John
Carney, Pro Bowl kicker was at 08, 5'10", 180. And then you have Rosas, who is 6'3", 233.
He ate Ali Haji-Sheik and John Carney.
We had fun with him before the game on the field talking to him and about his high school playing days.
He said he played everywhere. He said, I had to hit a lot of people during that time. And we just started laughing. I said, you really liked playing defense, didn't you? You liked hitting people. He said, safety, linebacker, either way.
Here's Darius Jackson. And Jackson takes it out near the 25-yard line. It's funny, right? Because Michael Thomas, their starting safety today, and their Pro Bowl alternate and special teams say, hey, man, we love that guy. He goes out there with those sleeves. We want to go down and make the tackle on the kick.
Yeah, they don't count him as just a kicker. They count him as a ball player. They count him as one of us, is what a lot of teams like to say. And look at him. No sleeves. Got it rolled up. Sun may not be out, but the guns certainly are for Aldrick Rosas.
By the way, Adam Redmond is still in for Xavier Su'a-Filo. Pam told you he was getting his ankle tape, but Redmond remains in. So does Dak Prescott, who's going to throw it on first down, incomplete it. And that's a first down to Amari Cooper, who's had a relatively quiet day, just his second catch. But that'll be good for a Dallas first down and a gain of 11. How come you don't have the guns out today? You're wearing sleeves.
Oh, I'm wearing a lot of sleeves today. I'm not as tough as those guys.
Hey, listen, December in northern New Jersey.
We'll
in
take
its
this.
40s.
We'll take
This is a gift. Rod Smith on the carry. I know the Cowboys have football, Charles, but we were talking before we had a little fun with Rosas, the Giants kicker, about Eli Manning and the quarterback situation of the Giants last year. And I just wanted to finish. You kind of broke down those prospects who are coming out in the draft now. And the one question I had is, all those guys you pointed out, Do you think any of them right now are a better solution than number 10 next year?
I don't think any of them next year are a better solution. But if Dwayne Haskins decides to come out and he's sitting there, I think if you're the Giants, you have to take him and start the grooming process towards taking over.
That makes a lot of sense. Second down. Prescott to throw it. Prescott going deep for Tavon Austin. And it's incomplete.
So close. So close. And Austin trying to flash that speed and get back into the flow, having missed 9 games with a groin injury, and also putting on tape for their playoff opponent. The Tavon Austin is back and could be used in a variety of ways that you have to defend.
He had a 64-yard touchdown the last time these two teams played, and if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going back there again.
Why not? Why not? Get him going. We haven't seen the jet sweep from him yet either. We haven't seen the reverses. Have him touch the football and get back into the flow.
Third down, Giants show blitz. Here they come. Prescott over the middle, and it's complete, but is it enough for a first? It will not be. It's Cooper who made the catch, but a nice tackle by Janoris Jenkins, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I think Jason Garrett, the head coach of the Cowboys, is now starting to walk that fine line towards getting more work for Amari Cooper and getting him back going. But when do you pull him as well to make sure that you have him for the playoffs?
Well, they're going to go here. Again, they know where they are. They're the 4th seed. The playoffs are playing next week, and they're going to give it a shot and go for it on 4th down.
Cole Beasley is usually the guy you look for here, but you know who's been big today? Blake Jarwin at tight end.
4th and 2. Prescott, quick throw, it's Beasley. Cole Beasley, Charles, as you said, into Giants territory to the 46, and it's a 1st down.
Kevin, earlier in the game, you talked about how Cole Beasley has gotten reinserted into this offense, and it is showing up in a big way today. He had been a forgotten man for a while as they adjusted to Amari Cooper, but in the last few ball games, Cole Beasley back in form.
Prescott, Beasley again, makes a move inside the 40. And Cole Beasley now with his 5th catch of the day. Game break, let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Kevin. So the Pats up 21-3. They can still clinch the 1 seed with a win and losses by the Chiefs and the Chargers. How about this? Sam Darnold sack, fumbles recovered by Kyle Van Noy for the 46-yard score. Patriots up 28-3. Kevin?
All right, so the Patriots well on their way to at least the 2 seed, and as Carissa said, if the Chiefs were to lose, they could get the home field advantage. So they're playing for something. The other meaningful game going on right now, the Texans have built up a 17-3 lead over Jacksonville as we look at Su'a-Filo. But at the very least, for Cowboys fans, tells you that he's not seriously injured. They may just be precautionary, keeping him out. Third and 3. Play clock down to 2. Get it on. 3-man rush. Still pressure. Prescott runs away. Looking to throw. Throws. Jarwin comes across to make the catch. On his feet. Into the end zone. Touchdown. And what a play by Dak Prescott.
Look at Jarwin, and Dak Prescott gets out of the pocket and actually directs him to an open spot and breaks one of the rules about throwing back into the middle of the field. Watch him. There you go. That's where I want you. That's where I want you. Here's the ball. And then at the end, Curtis Riley has a chance to make this play. I have no idea what he's doing on that one. He has a chance to make that tackle, Kevin, and absolutely missed it, not even really launching it. And Jarwin goes into the end zone.
Blake Jarwin never had a touchdown in the NFL. He's got 3 today. He's got a career-high 81 yards receiving. Dak Prescott, that was brilliance. Cowboys up 21-10.
Nice piece of improv by Dak Prescott, because I think he wants one of those 2 receivers on crossing routes because it's a straight drop. But he gets pressured on the backside by Olivier Vernon, flushes out, and now he becomes a conductor, telling his receivers where he wants them to go, where he wants them to be. Blake Jarwin takes the direction. Prescott throws it back into the middle. And then Curtis Riley, I have no idea why he does not make an attempt to make that tackle.
Tell you one thing, Dak Prescott, you hear a lot, and he'll admit it too. Sometimes maybe he holds the ball, or maybe he'll take some sacks, and then he does something like that, and it's kind of worth it, isn't it?
It certainly is. And here's the other thing. He may take the extra sacks, but he's not turning it over as much, even though he does need to correct the fumbling problem in the pocket.
This graphic is unbelievable. You think about, they just had a guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame as their tight end for the last 15 years in Jason Witten, and they haven't had a touchdown game by tight end since
this is Billy Joe Dupree, who was a heck of a tight end. But the idea that didn't say Jason Witten,
it's amazing, right? I can't believe that.
Because he put it out there every year with big numbers, big plays. That was a surprise.
Great job by Jeff Nelson and our crew diving into that one. So Eli Manning's going to take a shot deep, working against Awuzie there. Shepard could not come down with it. And it's second down.
And how about the year Chidobe Awuzie is having for Dallas? Because we've talked about Byron Jones, number 31 on the opposite corner. He's going to the Pro Bowl. Awuzie got picked on incessantly throughout the season early, but the more reps he got, the more teams picked on him, the better his play has gotten. And then today, we just saw the break up there against Shepard, and we saw an interception on the first series of the game. I think Chidobe Awuzie is one of the most improved players on the corner in the NFL.
118.
Giants go jumbo again with extra linemen. They give it to Saquon Barkley, who's just looking for a hole. There's a flag as Barkley works to make something happen. And he picks up 6, but it may be coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Giants sloppy today. 9 penalties on the day.
And that makes no sense to be that sloppy going into the last game with an opportunity to finish strong. Played fairly well in the last 7 games. And here's a chance against the NFC East Division champion Dallas Cowboys coming to town. And they've been this sloppy. And that's Jamon Brown's second penalty today.
Barkley on the draw, has some room. Saquon Barkley turns on the Jets. Saquon Barkley, a foot race with Heath, and he knocks him down. Saquon Barkley had been bottled up for most of this game, but not there. On the draw, and worked to perfection, and Barkley picks up 68.
And we just had Jamon Brown get the penalty, and they come right behind him in his gap, and look at him just shield off Sean Lee, number 78 in blue, and Phillips, number 50 in white. And then Barkley with that type of space, good luck with the race. Does a nice straight arm at the end to gain additional yardage when Jeff Heath takes up the angle. But look at Barkley, old school straight arm, gains an additional yardage.
Good credit to Heath for using that angle to catch up to him. Barkley over 100 yards now. And also the 3 catches, as you see on your screen. He gets a breather. Gallman's in it back. Give it to Wayne Gallman. Makes a nice move. Gets by Awuzie. Still on his feet. Gallman. And he gives the Giants a little juice here as he's going to pick up 8 yards.
And Wayne Gallman had designs on being the lead runner for the Giants this season until the NFL draft kicked in. And then Barkley gets selected, and he's back. He goes right back to the backup role. But what a nice move in the open field, freezing Awuzie and cutting inside for extra yards.
Here's Wayne Gallman stumbling and then falls forward. And a little extracurricular look out on the other side. Jalen Smith getting into it with Will Hernandez, the Giants left. That was totally away from the play. And the refs come over and break it up. I don't see any penalty flags.
That's good officiating too. Just let that go. And here comes Barkley back in the game. And I know across town The Jets drafted their quarterback of the future, and he played this year in Sam Darnold. And many have criticized the Giants for not drafting a quarterback. But they drafted the best player, the best rookie in this year's draft class in Saquon Barkley, and he's put it out there for them.
Fake to on 3rd and 1. Here's Ingram. First down, diving for the end zone. Touchdown. Did he make it, Charles?
Let's take a look. Where are the feet? Takes off there. He's still in the air. He hasn't come down. Look at the ball. It's going to cross it, and it's inside the pylon. That is definitely going to be a touchdown.
And so the Giants, sparked by Saquon Barkley's 68-yard run. On 3rd down, they punch it into Ingram, and looks like they're going to go for 2.
And what did Pat Shurmur tell us about the drop issues that Evan Ingram has had?
You know, Shurmur said, as a coach, I guess you're not supposed to root for anybody, but I root for him because he's worked so hard at it. He's playing well. He's rewarding his coach now. They'll go for 2, trying to make it a field goal game. Time throwing corner, nobody there. Shepard fell down. Now there's a flag. Maybe he was pushed down. Awuzie was on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal, and we'll have the point after touchdown retried.
I think I put the whammy on Awuzie, didn't I?
That was the ultimate jinx.
Because then Gallman breaks him down on an open field run. He misses the tackle. Now he gets the penalty in the end zone. Let's see if they try him again. And actually, Awuzie comes out of the game because they're going to go with a goal line defense with a lot of big people and big people for the Giants as well.
Jumbo, the fullback's in. Everybody's in. Manning looking to pass. Who's he going to get it to in the corner? Oh, it's caught! Ingram for the 2. Well, you didn't put the jinx on Ingram, Charles. Well, this was Barkley getting it done. 68-yarder on the draw that sparked him. And then Ingram with the athleticism, the dive. He's in, and then he would add on with the 2-pointer. And we got ourselves a 3-point game. Cowboys in the lead from MetLife here in the 3rd. You know, I don't know what's more impressive about Saquon Barkley. I mean, really everything is the whole package. You look at the number on the screen there, right? 7th time this year, 100-yard games. How about the fact he's got 6 runs of over 50 yards this year? That's the most in the league, no question about it. And then I think there's this, Charles. You know, Mike Thomas told us the other day, you know, we were just talking about Barkley and his, you know, we've talked to him, you know him well. He's such an impressive kid. Here's where he is, by the way, rookie year, over 2,000 scrimmage yards. Look at that company. Michael Thomas said, you know what? I think he's one of our captains next year.
So that tells you a lot about how he carries himself, how he conducts himself, the leadership that he's exhibiting as a young kid. That's impressive when it comes from a guy like Michael Thomas, who already has a captaincy on his jersey and is a Pro Bowl alternate in the special teams. They are saving the ball. That's pretty impressive right there. The 3rd rookie to do that. One in the Hall of Fame, another one that I think will be one day in Edgerrin James.
Here is Rod Smith looking to add on to his rushing pile today, and Smith is going to have a 6-yard gain.
He did not play a lot, really, in the middle part of this game, Kevin. Talk about Rod Smith. Started the game very impressively. Remember the game he had here last year? We talked about that. I think he likes playing here. Just hasn't gotten the number of carries I thought he would in this game. I think the Cowboys trying to protect him a little bit as well as they get ready for next week.
Prescott's still in the game, and he will throw it. He's got Michael Gallup, the rookie, who's got a 1st down. And Gallup out to the 44-yard line. Well, the other thing is this, is the rushing title. We told you it would take an unbelievable day for Barkley to win it from Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott resting today, ready for the playoffs next week. Todd Gurley resting today for the Rams, getting ready for the playoffs next week. So now Barkley is 2nd. So he needs a well 4th quarter, but I wouldn't put anything by this kid. Prescott to throw on 1st down, pressure coming, and Prescott sacked again. They rule it as a sack. B.J. Hill got there, so did Olivier Vernon. I think if they give that to Vernon, that's his 3rd sack of the day, and now he's holding his neck.
So look at Prescott in the pocket, and from the top, here comes Vernon, 54, and then Hill gets involved after that. But Vernon, who's really had done a nice job today, winning in pass rush moves against Cameron Fleming, number 75, the replacement for the Pro Bowler, Tyron Smith.
They give Vernon a half a sack, so he's 2.5 on the day. Second and long. Prescott, trouble again, bounces out, gets it to Smith. Nope, it's incomplete, a little short. Has pressure coming, and a reminder, now 3 backups in on the Cowboys line. Giants have had pressure for the most part a lot today, but now it's really starting to show.
And Olivier Vernon decides to bull rush on the last one and takes Cameron Fleming and walks him right back into Dak Prescott and makes it hard to step up in the pocket and get rid of the football.
Third down 19. It's a 4-man rush. Prescott fires it to Darwin again, who's upended 11 yards shy of a first down by Kenny Ladler. As it takes us to the end of the third quarter. It's a 3-point game. So here we are in week 17. We got 15 more minutes left in the regular season for these two teams. Cowboys, though, no, they're playing next week. Back for the fourth. 21-18, we go to the fourth quarter. Dallas leading the Giants. Of course, the Cowboys is a tune-up for their wild card round next week. Giants play their final quarter of the regular season. But Pat Shermer, their head coach, has talked so strongly all week to the local beat writers about momentum, how he believes in it. He told us, hey, it's important. You know, a couple years ago, took over for North Turner, Minnesota. End of the year, we were playing better. We wanted so badly to play well against the Bears week 17, and we did. And then, of course, last year, the Vikings won 13 games. So he wants the Giants to win this game badly. They're down by 3 to start this fourth. And a fair catch called for by Coleman. So, coming up after this game, will it be more Nick Foles magic? I mean, it's unbelievable. He's got the Eagles with a chance to be back in the playoffs, or maybe another Minneapolis miracle. The Vikings, they control their destiny. They beat the Bears at home today, and they are in that final playoff spot. Those two games on Fox coming up after us. Here's what's at stake. Bears also something there, because if the Rams were to lose the Niners, Bears could jump up and get a first-round bye. But the Rams need a win, and they would get the 2 seed and the first-round bye. Here is Shepard for the Giants. Takes a hit and is out of bounds at the 25. So what do you think is going to happen today, Mr. Prognosticator? Who's going to make it in that final NFC wildcard spot?
I'm not that good. My crystal ball is a little cloudy, but I can't help but wonder, what if Philadelphia finds their way in and Carson Wentz says my back feels a whole lot better?
Well, I can tell you, here's what I don't wonder. If they get in the playoffs, Nick Foles just earned a lot more money than he was already going to make.
No matter which way it goes.
On second down, here's a pitch to Barkley, looking for a block. And Saquon Barkley out, which should be a Giant first down.
And I think after last season, content's not the right word, but Nick Foles was comfortable coming back to be the backup again this year, even when he knew Wentz would come back. I wonder if they go through again, if somehow he gets in and has another good run, if he wouldn't want to say, hold on a second, I'm ready to go play somewhere. Because Wentz is going to be their quarterback. He's their future. But I just wonder if Foles might say, guys, I've hooked you up. Let me go somewhere and take over a team.
Boy, you can't pay a backup $20 million, right? They gave him incentives this year to stay around, but I'm kind of with you. Hard to ignore it. Get it out to Barkley in the flat, looking to make the move. Saquon Barkley. Well, Jeff Heath caught him on the 68-yard run before that time. Barkley just slams him to the ground. My goodness.
And Jeff Heath is going to go to sleep tonight seeing this straight arm from Saquon Barkley. Remember on the big run, he gave him the straight arm. Watch now. Here comes the second one. And he throws it out. And remember, he has that boxing background. And he throws it out there like it's a jab. And sticks it right in the chest of that little short shot. Bam! Right there. And Jeff Heath is an excellent tackler. A big hitter. And Saquon Barkley gets through him and picks up the yardage.
Blitz coming. Manning sees it, look out, and he saw Barkley, but it was nowhere near. Heath was flying in that time. He's like, wait a second. And you see him laughing.
And he's laughing because he's like, let me tell you something, big guy. You've gotten me twice already. He was lining that one up, and you talk about heat-seeking on that one. Jeff Heath wanted to wrap himself around Barkley in a big way.
This is an amazing number. That's most catches in a rookie season by anybody. Wide receiver, running backs, anyone. And look at this. One more catch, he ties Beckham. Who knows? Anything could happen. Maybe he catches Bolden for most by rookie ever. Here it's Ingram making a play. Down the sidelines. Evan Ingram, it's a foot race. And he's caught from behind by Van Der Esch and Awuzie. But Evan Ingram, who can fly. He's picking up 51.
Now watch, and poor Jeff Heath, he's getting into too many highlights that go against him. He's got a chance to get Ingram down on the out route, doesn't do it, and Ingram traverses down the sideline before Van Der Esch and Awuzie get him. Right here, Heath has an opportunity. Can't get him down, and Ingram just takes off. And Van Der Esch and Awuzie finally chase him down.
Gallman in the game in backfield. He gets it. Wayne Gallman sprinting through the hole. Good run. Down to the 5. It'll be a first down and goal. Charles, you look at these. You look at Barkley. You look at Ingram. Obviously Beckham's out, but he's signed to that long-term deal. You have to think if they could shore up the offensive line, what this offense is capable of, especially what we've seen in the last 7 weeks, right?
And that's exactly what they're thinking about. And this is what you don't want to see if you're Dallas. The incredible rookie Leighton Van Der Esch getting some medical attention.
Oh my goodness. I mean, he's up for defensive rookie of the year. He has been one of their heart and souls on defense, and this is the worst nightmare when you play these games that don't mean anything. And Jason Garrett's obviously gotten a lot of guys out of the game, but you don't have enough backups to get everybody out. Let's see what happened.
And he ends up getting leg whipped essentially by his running mate at linebacker, Jalen Smith. Both of them trying to come together to make a play. And watch Smith, 54. Watch his legs underneath. See how they go right through. And the bottom part of the legs of Leighton Van Der Esch. So what you're hoping is a bruise and nothing more.
Well, obviously hope that Van Der Esch is okay. Look at Jason Garrett.
And this is part of the reason you hear coaches around the league saying they want to expand the roster numbers. You know, Sean Payton talked about it last week. Go up from 46 so you have a few more guys that you can play in situations like this.
Well, that's at least a good sign. Stephen Jones on the left, Jerry Jones on the right, concerned, and you just hope that Van Der Esch is okay and he could shake it off. 173 tackles on the season. He's been just amazing. Here's Gallman. Getting the carry. Wayne Gallman fighting forward. Wayne Gallman, you know, Charles, you were talking before. He's thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to be the lead back, and they draft Barkley. So he hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but 2 years in the league, he's never rushing touchdown. You know, he's dying to go in right.
Dying to go in at this moment. And how about the way this Giants team continues to fight? This is what Pat Shurmur's been trying to, you know, create here, that type of culture. And we've seen it over the last half of this season after a 1-7 start. They didn't give up on the year, and they certainly haven't given up on this game despite the lead Dallas had built.
Meanwhile, no trainer with Van Der Esch right now. I'd have to think that's a pretty good sign. First and goal, it's Wayne Gallman dancing around. There is number 1. Touchdown, Giants, and their first lead.
Look at him just dance through the attempted tackle by Damian Wilson. Head coach Pat Shurmur, who also calls the plays on offense. We scored. Let's kick the extra point. Saquon Barkley didn't score, but happy for his teammate Wayne Gallman. And the Giants bench excited into the lead for the first time today.
Rosas the extra point up, and it's money. Now the Giants have played hard here today. Barkley's had a good second half, and then Gallman, another stiff arm, his first career rushing touchdown, and the Giants with their first lead here in the fourth quarter. Tonight, the crew of the Starship Orville is back. From creator Seth MacFarlane comes a brand new season of thrilling missions and epic adventures. The Orville Season 2 premieres tonight after football on Fox. And Charles and I are really still lobbying for an extra part.
Yes, we are. And
Charles, this is great, right?
Oh, I love it. Saquon Barkley, best rookie in the league, getting all the carries and all the touchdowns. Happy for his backup, Wayne Gallman, getting his first. Pat Shurmur probably exchanging that type of congratulations to Gallman, who's hung in there and persevered. But this team has played hard for Pat Shurmur. So that tells me a little bit of something about Pat Shurmur in the locker room and this team. They could have gone easily south on him.
Oh, especially the way it started for the break. Here is a kick return by Darius Jackson. He takes it out to the 25. If the Giants are going to turn it around next year, they have got to be better against the division, because other than the playoff year, that was the first year for McAdoo. They've stunk in the division, Charles. You cannot win if you don't play well inside your own division.
And not only that, it translated to the rest of the season as well. Remember that 2016 season where they were 4-2, they were 11-5 and went to the playoffs. Those other 4 seasons, those were 10-loss seasons, and obviously no playoffs.
Five-man rush. Prescott stands in, fires, got a completion. Michael Gallup makes the catch, turns on the speed, and Gallup tackled just shy of midfield. Nice catch and run before Jenkins brought him down. And Charles, you think about, look, the NFL, for the most part, these games are all close, right? And the good teams win the close ones and the bad teams don't. And there's your evidence. 8 points or fewer. Dallas has 8 wins. That's the most in the league. The Giants 4-7. A whole heck of a lot that separates that. But the good teams win them, and Dallas has done that. And the Giants have not.
How many times have you gone in a production meeting to get ready for a game, and at least one coach has said, well, it's a 7-point league. Meaning every week's going to be a tight game, right? It's going to be well, most games are one-possession games. You got to find a way to win them. The Cowboys have, the Giants have not, obviously, and here's where we are.
Second down. Blitz coming. Prescott near side, knocked away at the last second. Tony Lippett got in there and made the play. We saw Leighton Vander Esch go down and then get up under his own power. I think Pam Oliver has an update for us.
That's right, Kevin. Team trainers, they focused on Leighton Vander Esch's left lower leg. They have since taped it. They've said he got kicked in the shin. Let's not forget the Cowboys do have a Pro Bowler named Sean Lee, who backs up at both the Will and Mike linebacker.
That's true, and Lee is back today. But I think at least right now, taking a collective breath, and hopefully Vander Esch is okay. Third down and 10.
Cowboys substituted late. The officials stepped in to give the Giants a chance to sub if they wanted.
Giants back off the blitz, still pressure. Prescott on the move, looking, throwing deep, and he's got a man, and it is caught down inside the 10. It's Allen Hurns, who has been so quiet of late, but he got behind the defense, and he picked up 44 yards.
Not in picture yet, but will be coming across field. And watch Hurns back here. Realizes it's a scramble and turns it upfield on Tony Lippett, who just made a nice play. Hurns just made a better one.
And we get a penalty.
Twelve men on the defense. Penalty reinforced half the distance to the goal. First down.
The eyes of Dak Prescott.
And how about Allen Hurns understanding his quarterback was in trouble and changed his route, but took it to where he got into his sight line. Quarterback rolling out right, so the field's cut in half. You've got to get into the sight line of your quarterback so he knows it. Hurns, with his veteran experience, did that, and it turned into a huge play.
I mean, he's had 2 receptions the last 4 weeks until that. Gotta feel good. They will run it to Ross Smith, and they will score it. Touchdown, Dallas. And they're back in front. And tempers flaring. It is the Cowboys-Giants,
We just talked about how the Giants are playing for Pat Shurmur. The Cowboys, I think Pam Oliver talked about at the top of our show, what type of intensity would they have? You know, and what Jason Garrett wanted to see from his team. He wanted that intensity. Well, it certainly seems like they've got it here. They were fired up about that touchdown.
No, it's interesting to me, and you touched on this in the open of the show a long time ago now. Obviously the playing time, but you had said Jason Garrett in his 2 playoffs, so this is obviously good news. Van Der Esch is back out there. That's great news for Dallas. Extra point is up and good, barely. But you had talked about how, you know, Jason Garrett had done it in his 2 playoffs differently. One, he played the guys a little longer. The other time, barely played him. He's played most of his starters almost the entire game today. Here, the bomb to Hearns, and then the run to Smith. And Dak Prescott said he wanted to play the whole game. He's played the whole game, and he's played well, and he's fired up. Dallas back in front. Talked earlier about Mark Colombo, offensive line coach. You think he's happy with 4 reserves playing today, their second half performance?
That's the old adage in the NFL. You got to step up when your number's called. And Mark Colombo just wishing he were actually in pads, moving people around again.
Good player. And now he's leading that group. And Dak Prescott, we talked to him yesterday, said, I want to play the whole game. And I think I'm going to play the whole game. He wasn't kidding. Played the whole way, and he's played well. The Cowboys jump back in front. It's turned out to be a fun game. Here is Coleman on the return, and the Giants will get it down 3. Well, Allen Hearns emerged after being in a slumber for the last 4 weeks. Pam Oliver, I know you were interested in trying to dig deep on Hearns a little bit this week.
Yes, I was. So I asked a number of people about that they are just effusive in their praise for this young man. He's the most underrated teammate we have. That says Dak Prescott. We ask him to do everything in the receiving game. He can even run tight end routes. That's how good he is. They're really thankful to have this kid because he is so unselfish and does so much for the offense.
Yeah, to your point, Pam, he's a great guy to root for. And also you mentioned the tight end routes. I've seen him block from the tight end position today as well.
Saquon Barkley would like to have had a block there, didn't have much. And Joe Thomas, the reserve linebacker, was in there first. Well, it says a lot about a guy who came here and signed to be, honestly, when he signed, the #1 guy. 2-year, $12 million deal. Of course, they went out and got Cooper. Michael Gallup has emerged past him, so he's fallen down the depth chart and has been nothing but a good team man. Not everybody would be in that position.
Knows every wide receiver position, as Pam noted, knows the tight end routes as well. So you can plug him in anywhere. As Jason Garrett said, he doesn't get his number called often, but when it does, he produces, and he did in a big way for the Cowboys.
Now can the Giants come back? Manning, pressure coming, sees it, unloads it. Taco Charlton was coming in hot. And the Cowboys say, wait a second, there's nobody home. That should be grounding.
And they're going to discuss this one. See, they're all pointing to each other and trying to figure it out. Haven't seen anything yet from Clay Martin. But it was good awareness by Eli Manning because watch him on the backside. See, see right there, see how he eyes Taco Charlton? He knows that the time has moved and closed down on him. Takes one last hop step away to clear and throws the ball away. Good pocket awareness by number 10.
And so it's a 3rd and 12, and Manning calls a timeout. Play clock winding down, didn't like what he saw, and the Giants use their first timeout here in the second half. Giants offense, well, they went down the field initially and threw an interception in the end zone, but they have come alive. Saquon Barkley really sparked them with a long run. And hi, welcome to the booth. So a lot going on here. I want to get back, though, because I'm just fascinated with Jason Garrett, how he's played this differently. And again, some guys are resting, some guys, but for the most part, his starters have played this game.
And a lot of people talk about, hey, you want to play to keep your momentum going into the playoffs. Dallas is trying to regain their momentum. They were playing really well during their 5-game winning streak. Got beaten in Indianapolis and shut out. Did not play well on offense against Tampa last week. They had 232 total yards. So he wanted to find a way to feel better about his offense, especially going into the playoffs next week. Thus, they played the entire way.
And he fires. Latimer makes a catch. Now the spot. Where are they going to put it? It looks like they might be a little short. I mean, a half yard. But you're obviously going to go on 4th and short. Ooh, that's close.
Really close, but look where the ball is caught, and look where the flag is. Right? You see the flag, and it's going to be tough, and I know that's not ideal, but where that ball is and coming down, I think it is short.
And that's where they mark it. They're going to bring it out and measure, but it appears to be about a half-yard shy, and it is exactly that. But obviously the Giants going to go. Nothing on the line here.
And Eli Manning scored on a quarterback sneak last week in Indianapolis. With that short a distance, you just want to keep your drive going. I would think about Eli running the sneak again here. It's not, it's not been in his forte, but this season, what's he run more quarterback sneaks this season than probably did his entire career prior to. But the one last week worked pretty well.
I was joking with him the other day about running all those bootlegs. And he said, I like it. I enjoy doing it. I said, so you're saying you're fast? He said, I'm not saying I'm fast.
but I like
doing it.
And he did it well at Ole Miss. David Cutcliffe was his head coach. Daniel Jones was one of those quarterbacks we showed on the screen earlier coming out, tutored by Cutcliffe. Here we go.
Jumbo formation. There is a sneak, Charles, and he gets a shove, and he's got the first down. Will Hernandez's helmet went flying, but he wasn't the one with the ball, so it doesn't matter, and the Giants will keep it going.
And they tell offensive linemen on goal line plays, if you block your guy into the end zone and you score first, the back will score behind you. Well, this isn't a goal line play, but if you get to the first down marker with your block, your quarterback should get there. And Will Hernandez led the charge, the rookie out of UTEP.
He's played every snap this year, 49 starts in college. He's been a bright spot on the offensive line for them. On first down, they will run it. Barkley bunks after a short gain. With under 7 minutes to go, Giants regular season finale here, trailing the Cowboys 28-25. Saquon Barkley on the day, 104 yards rushing. He's also got 33 yards receiving.
The Giants brought in Brian Mahalik, number 68. Who's not just a big man, he's a huge man, 6'9", 320 pounds.
On the fake, Manning back, Manning letting it rip, Manning complete. Sterling Shepard into Cowboys territory down to the 42. We've got a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
The Falcons were down 17-0 at the Bucs, and then Matt Ryan got going. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes, including this one to Calvin Ridley, and had one receiving as well. He's having a nice day to wrap up the season. Falcons up 31-20 now in the 4th. Kevin, Charles, and Pam.
I'm not sure Dirk Cutter will be having a nice day.
Come Monday, gonna be a tough one.
1st and 10 Giants after the big completion to Sterling Shepard. Fake to Barkley, pressure, and Manning just going to fire it away again. Barkley was in the vicinity that time. 2nd down.
Karan Reed absolutely wrecked that play, number 51. We showed him earlier potentially getting some work at offensive line when they thought they might be down an offensive lineman after Xavier Suafilo's injury, getting a crash course. He went back to what he does best, playing defensive tackle, and was immediately in the backfield and in the face of Eli Manning.
Four-man rush. Manning over the middle, has a completion. It is Fowler. And Benny Fowler is going to be shy of a first down by about 4 yards. Well, there's 2 games going on right now with playoff implications. Both the Patriots and Texans are already in the playoffs. Patriots, they're obviously going to win, so they will lock up the 2 seed at least and a first-round bye. They can get the 1 seed if Kansas City loses later. The Texans will win the division by winning today. It looks like they're on their way to doing that, and that will solidify that. Texans can still get the 1-2. Kansas, well, actually, they can't with New England winning now. So those are going to be set now. The Chiefs will play later, and we'll see. Barkley goes top of your screen as a receiver on a 3rd down. Manning going to go deep, far side of the field. Another one-hander by Latimer. Are you kidding? It's another one. Not 1, but 2 in the same game to Cody Latimer. Beautiful, and a gain of 31.
And you mentioned it. Another one-handed spectacular catch for Latimer. He gets Anthony Brown, number 30, on his back, tips the ball to himself, and possesses it all the way through. Look at him, on his back, hand out, bump it to yourself, 2 hands, and Cody Latimer has been a beast.
They will run it. Here is Barkley up the middle inside the 5. And stop there.
That was such a well-conceived route by Pat Shurmur and the offensive staff. They put Barkley all the way at the top of the screen, as you noted, to make sure attention went to him. And he just pretty much stood on a hitch route and allowed Latimer to work one-on-one in the slot there with Anthony Brown. And Latimer won his route, and Eli Manning found him with a nice throw.
Oh, Eli Manning, you know, remember the start he had, right, Charles? Well, all of a sudden, had himself a pretty good day. You look at Latimer today, but Manning's approaching 300 yards passing. Had a 300-yard game last week, too, in a 1-point loss to the Colts. It's Barkley. Stutter step up the middle. He's not going to get there. It'll be a 3rd and goal. There is Manning today. You know, he had the interception in the end zone on the first drive, and then he had the second drive, the interception. Initially, they changed it to a fumble, but especially in the second half, he's played really well. Had a great touchdown to Latimer at the end of the first half. Manning took a family picture in the end zone to start this game, and I think just himself, you know, just in case he's making a pretty strong play, he'll be the same spot next year. Give it to Saquon Barkley, jumping over everybody! Touchdown! It's a touchdown, despite the fact Dallas is running with the ball. Was that Michael Jordan, Charles?
I was going to tell you, that ball, look at where the ball is, though, Kevin. Is it coming out of his hand before it hits the goal line? It is right on it, and you can see the official right there eyeing it. He's right on the goal line, so he can see right down into it. But that ball is close to coming out of his hand before it crosses the goal line. But right there, as soon as it hits, the official's got the call. And that's where he's going to call touchdown, because now you're breaking the plane. But where did he take off from? Wow, he's what, the 3-yard line? That looked like Julius Erving in the ABA dunk contest where he took off from the foul line for the first time up in Denver. So he had altitude. That helped the doctor. No altitude here in New Jersey.
Jumping from the 3.
That was close.
3rd lead change this quarter. As Rosas puts it up and through, there's a penalty. It's turned out to be quite the entertaining second half here from MetLife Stadium. Let's see what the flag is. You see many guys jumping from the 3 over a pile?
Not to get
Offside.
that airborne.
Defense, number 24. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
Not just jumping from the 3, but jumping over people from the 3. And you see there, Thomas trying to affect it. But he gets to the plane, and there's your touchdown.
Air Saquon to the rescue. Saquon Barkley is very good. I don't know if you haven't been watching football all year. Look at this, and he's talking to his offensive line. 144 yards from scrimmage today, scoring that touchdown. Giants back in front. Rookie of the Year candidates on offense. Who's the winner, Charles?
For me, it's Saquon Barkley. I know Baker Mayfield has a lot of momentum going because of the Browns' late season push, and rightly so. But to me, Saquon Barkley, the number 2 pick in the draft, the best rookie in 2018.
And now 11 rushing touchdowns. It's a new Giants rookie record. You got to look at this play again. I'm sorry. You just don't see people jumping from the 3 for a touchdown.
It's like he's going down the lane for a dunk. Joe Thomas meets him at the rim, but he gets the dunk completed even though it's at the end, because this will be a foul. Right here. Thomas gets the arm, but the ball breaks the plane before the ball is knocked out by Joe Thomas. But look at that extension, that height, and the ability to put it over the line.
I got one more. You said Dr. J?
Yeah.
How about Vince Carter on Frederick Weiss in the Olympics?
Ooh.
That's what that would look like. It looked like a lot of things. As the ball is loose, it's on the ground. Giants have the football. B.J. Goodson's got it. It was knocked away from Kerry Wynn, and the Giants have it with 3:09 to go.
So Janoris Jenkins making the tackle and win from the backside, knocks the ball free. Number 72, the defensive lineman who hustles to the ball on every snap he's on the field. And he knocks it free. The scramble for the ball. Goodson, 93, picks it up before he's finally knocked down at the end. But look at the play by Wynn. Hustling from his defensive lineman position into the secondary to knock it free and give the Giants the ball and another scoring opportunity.
You know what's beautiful about this game coming in? You know it didn't mean anything standing-wise, but it's still Giants-Cowboys. And it's been a heck of a lot of fun. Manning on the run. It's his tight end Simonson who gets gang tackled inside the 10. So if you've just joined us, or those of you watching the Lions shut out the Packers, this has been some game. The Cowboys have played most of their starters all game. Not Zeke Elliott. He was inactive today. Coach's decision. But it's been back and forth. Blake Jarwin, 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys tight end Barkley has gone nuts. He just jumped in from the 3 on a touchdown. He had a 68-yard run. It's been entertaining. And we know the Giants season will come to an end today. The Cowboys are playing next week. But it's been the NFC East, a couple teams that don't like each other very much.
And I think there's been a great amount of professionalism exhibited by both sides. Because when you think about this game and you think about what we've seen, this game so-called didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You mentioned NFC East division rivals, but it meant something to the Giants. Pat Shermer wants the momentum for next year. It meant something to the Cowboys to try and prepare for the playoffs next week. Right now, the Giants have the upper hand. Yeah,
I mean, look, it's right now they got 10 losses. You don't like that, but I don't know how you don't think this team is playing hard and playing better under Pat Shermer since the break. Encouraging going forward. 2nd and 1 here. Give it to Barkley again. Nice cut. Another nice cut. Stiff arm. We get a flag. Barkley to the edge has a first if the penalty allows it. So we'll wait on that.
Holding. Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Got Chad Wheeler, the offensive right tackle, who's played better as this season has gone on as well. But there will be a lot of competition on the offensive line for the New York Giants next year. I will guarantee that. Dave Gettleman, the GM, will definitely be seeking to bring in competition and shore up the line. If indeed Eli Manning is going to be their quarterback next year, it's imperative.
Express.
A little flip. Barkley. Not much. Timeout on the field, and we'll be back in 30 seconds after this message. Ezekiel Elliott was inactive today, just a coach's decision. Getting rest for next week. Zach Martin did not play. Tyron Smith did not play. But for the most part, every other Cowboy starter has played most of this game, including the quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And a lot of defenders.
And Barkley just fell down. So he actually is human after all. On a 3rd and long, he slipped and fell. And a timeout. Cowboys will call another one to stop the clock with 2:39 left. Look, again, we're talking about the Giants playing hard for Pat Shermer, Charles. The record is not what Giant fans want to see, but here is why there is hope. Their improved play, obviously, since the bye, but this has been a trend in the NFL, right? Last place in the NFC, 2nd straight season for them. That hasn't happened since the 70s, but 15 of the last 16 seasons, 1 or more teams have gone from worst to first in a division. The Eagles and Jaguars did it last year. Saw how that turned out. Philly won the whole thing. Bears won the NFC North. The Texans are going to win the division because they're up big today. So 2 teams did it from last year to this year. It's happened a lot. There's parity in the league, and the Giants, if they make a couple good offseason moves, will be there next year.
And don't forget, in the NFC East, rarely do you get back-to-back champions. Right? The Eagles were the last ones to do it, weren't they, in the East?
Yes. Rosas to add to the Giants' lead, up and good, continuing his terrific season. 38 yards. It's a 7-point game.
Well, not only will he outkick everyone else in the league, he'll take him in the weight room and crush him there too. But how about Eli Manning and today? Tough start in a lot of ways. 1 interception, the lost fumble that could have been called an interception, depending on how you wanted to score it. You know, I think they got to his arm before the ball got out of it, so lost fumble is the right call. But boy, as he picked it up, and so has his team. And remember, they were down at one point, what was it, 21-10?
Mm-hmm.
And here they are. Battle their way back again with a 7-point lead. Now they have to turn it over to their defense, see if they can hold it.
Barkley mentioned that a moment ago. New Giants rookie record. Stood since 1943.
And he's beaten, I mean, some of the names that he surpassed, because he also holds the rookie rushing record. And one of my all-time favorite names in the NFL. Alphonse Tuffy Lehmans formerly held the record for rookie rushes for the Giants.
Reminder to stay tuned for our State Farm Game Break show. A lot of big games coming up in the next few hours on Fox. Jackson on the kick return out to the 30. I think we should get a little preview of that show with Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, let me tell you, coming up next, that NFC 6 seed is on the line. Vikings and the Bears. If the Vikings win, they are in. If they lose, Philly, who's on the road in Washington, has a chance to punch their ticket to the postseason. It's all coming up next on Fox. Kevin?
Look forward to that, Carissa. So here we are, 2:29 to go from MetLife Stadium. The Giants 35, the Cowboys 28. They work on Rosas's leg. Dak Prescott seeing if he could have a game tie or game-winning drive here. Back to throw. Pressure coming. Fires and drops. A perfect pass, but Amari Cooper could not hang on. He's had another quiet game. 4 catches, 29 yards. So after that explosive game in Philly where he went for 217, he's been pretty quiet the last 3 weeks.
Certainly has. And that one had the feel of he was trying to make a move before he hauled the ball in. Looked like he wanted to snatch the ball and turn either inside or outside. Thought he had a bigger play at hand and didn't take the football all the way in.
Right there, fumble. Let's get it, you're good.
Prescott stands back. He's got Jarwin again, who's catching everything today. Down to the 40. A career day for Blake Jarwin. His 7th catch and 30 yards. He's over 100 to go with his 3 touchdowns. They'll try to hurry up before the 2-minute warning. They do. They're going to set it up to Smith over the middle. Rod Smith inside the 35, and we hit the 2-minute warning. Blake Jarwin, 7 catches, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns. What a day for the second-year tight end. He's got 1, he's got 2, he's got 3. Do I get a 4 for Jarwin? 2-minute warning. Blake Jarwin, first 13 games of this season of his career. Look at this, 7 catches, last 420. Today, 7 catches, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns. 2 minutes to go. Giants by 7. Cowboys on the move. Here comes a blitz. Prescott's going to go for it all, going to the far side. Incomplete, no flags. Janoris Jenkins had coverage on Amari Cooper, and had good coverage too.
Look how Jenkins gets him to the sideline. Now, you could make a case that Jenkins got a hand on him, but Cooper responded in kind. And what we've seen throughout this season is if that happens, the officials let them work it out themselves. Who's going to win the battle? No flag either way.
3rd down and 4.
Well, you know whose territory that is. That's Cole Beasley's.
Prescott over the middle, complete for a 1st down. It's Cooper. No timeouts for the Cowboys, but they got plenty of time. 1:45.
The Giants have actually answered Cole Beasley with number 23 B.W. Webb guarding him in the slot right here. They actually brought a corner instead of a safety.
On the fake, Prescott lofting. He's got a man wide open to Cooper, and he misread it. Cooper was wide open, and they couldn't connect.
Well, we had the basketball analogy on the jump by Saquon Barkley. This is the equivalent of missing the layup. Just throws the ball out over the head of Jenkins, and he's got 6, and he throws it to the backside, and you see Dak looking at the big board and realizing his error.
Stands in high, incomplete, way high. I think he was trying to get it to Jarwin. And Mem must have lost that ball coming out of his hand. 3rd and 10.
There it is, just took off on him as you described. This would be prime territory for Zeke Elliott if he were playing today. Not dressed.
3rd and 10. Giants come with everybody. Prescott in trouble. Hit as he throws. Incomplete. That was a max blitz by James Betcher and company. And a 4th and 10 is coming up.
And that was a James Betcher special. This is what he did at Arizona. Brought pressure in the key plays. And Olivier Vernon there, as well as Lorenzo Carter. And they met at Dak Prescott.
So here's the game. Giants trying to hold on, finish the season on a positive note. 4th and 10. There's some movements by Dallas. That'll make it 4th and 15.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That's on Cameron Fleming, the left tackle. Tyron Smith out today, resting.
Let's see what James Betcher wants to do here, the defense coordinator of the Giants. Do you play coverage here on 4th and 15, or do you do what you do best and bring pressure and don't give Dak Prescott time to find someone downfield?
Dallas has to get to the 17-yard line to keep the game alive. Prescott, pressure from Vernon, spins away, looking, throwing, going end zone. But he's out of bounds, and the Giants will win it.
Look at the effort of Beasley laying out. Gets a knee down in the end zone, and the upper part of him goes down. Is that knee going? Look at that right there. He's down.
That's a catch.
That should be a touchdown, folks. We're going to have to take a good look at that. That should be 6 for Dallas.
And remember the old John Madden, 1 knee equals 2 feet.
Yep. Now watch. Now watch and see at the end of the catch. Does he complete the process? And he's got that ball cradled underneath him, hands underneath. To me, that's a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
What an effort by Cole Beasley. Knee right there. Catching the football. Possession, he's got it.
So the ruling on the field was incomplete. Dean Blandino, our rules expert in L.A. Dean, what do you say?
I see a catch here. What the back judge sees is the elbow hit on the end line, but you can see the right knee is clearly going to touch first. That puts him in bounds. He's going to maintain control when he hits out of bounds. That's a catch, and this should be overturned to a touchdown.
Dean, thank you. That is it's a 4th and 15.
Dean, just want to let you know, you are correct.
They just showed it in the stadium, and the Cowboys fans are going nuts.
That's got to be a touchdown. And now, in this stage, I think Jason Garrett goes for 2 and does not kick an extra point and take us towards overtime.
I would agree.
He's taking his starters all the way through this game. I don't think he wants to take them to an extra period. He's going to go for it right here and right now, I believe.
I'm not sure what was better, the throw or the catch.
I really think the catch, because Prescott did a fantastic job getting out of the pocket, but I thought the throw was just a little bit too long, and Beasley rescued it.
Wow.
I mean, terrific play to keep the play alive by Prescott, and he gave him a chance, but what a catch.
After review, the receiver got a knee down and maintained control of the ball. Therefore, we have a touchdown. Please set the game clock to 1 minute and 12 seconds. 1:12.
Cowboys fans in attendance, and there are a lot of them going nuts, but as you call for, they're going to go for 2. Here's the route.
Look at Beasley working. Remember, they changed up, the Giants did, and brought a cornerback over to cover him more. That's B.W. Webb, and right at the last second, Cole Beasley uncovers himself from decent coverage by B.W. Webb, and then what an incredible effort to lay out.
So here it is. They're going to go for 2 to try and win it. If not, the Giants will win. On the fake. Prescott on the roll. Pressure coming. Throws. Caught for the 2. And the Cowboys have the lead. It's Gallup. And there's a penalty flag on the field. So incredible 4th and 15. The Cowboys score right now. The 2 is good. Still, though, 1:12 on the clock for the Giants. But first, let's see what the penalty is.
Could be the Cowboys bench out on the field. This could cost them field position on the kickoff and give the Giants great opportunity here with 1:12 left.
And 2 timeouts.
The exuberance is one thing. It could cost them.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Dallas, number 99, taunting. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. That is number 99's first unsportsmanlike towards a possible disqualification.
There's a lot of action on this 2-point play, too, to allow Michael Gallup to come all the way across field. Tony Lippett started with the coverage, and Gallup found his way away from him. Remember, we had a play fake in the backfield. We had a jet motion fake. We had Prescott getting outside of the pocket and Gallup coming across field to meet him and score the 2 points to give Dallas the lead.
Couple things. Dak Prescott wanted to play the whole game. He was adamant about it to us. He's got 387 yards and 4 touchdowns, no picks. He has been great. Talk about a playoff tune-up. But now here's this. 1:12 left. Giants will have the ball. They've got 2 timeouts. And now the kickoff so far back. Corey Coleman is an excellent returner. He's very dangerous. So keep that all in mind here. This one is not over. It's actually, they put Latimer back this time, not Coleman. That's interesting. First time they've done that today. Latimer from the 15. Up to the 30. Up to the 40. Up near the 49. Great field position for the Giants. You know, we came on, Charles, and we knew this game, you know, didn't mean a thing for the standings or playoff positioning for the Cowboys. It's been unbelievable. And Pat Shurmur, momentum. Giants have played well. Can you think of any better way to finish and have a kind of a walk-off win here?
It'd be something. And Dak Prescott got what he wanted, which was the last drive to give his team an opportunity to win. This is Eli Manning territory throughout his career. The late game drive for a win.
Here's Manning. Stands in, incomplete. Look at Fowler. Keep in mind, pregame warm-ups, Aldrich Rosas was good from 55 yards. So you're talking about, just getting inside the 40, Charles. He does have a 57-yarder this year in this direction against the Bears.
We were here for that one.
Yes.
And that was a monster kick right before the half. In this case, remember, if Dallas had been able to kick off from the normal spot and kick it out of the end zone, the ball comes to the 25. Because of the penalty, they gained 24 yards on the return.
Second down. Manning in trouble. Lofts one for Ingram. Just a little far. Jordan Lewis was there, but Pat Ingram just couldn't connect. And now a 3rd and 10 with 56 seconds to play.
And if you can't get the ball downfield, Cody Latimer's had a big game with some big catches. Evan Ingram has done the same. Find a way to get the ball to Saquon Barkley and let him try and create something. Remember, you're in 4-down territory. You don't have to get it all in this one chunk here. Can't get it downfield. Find your star running back. Here's Barkley here.
Blitz coming. Manning coming for Shepard, back shoulder, and it was short. Incomplete. And so it comes down to 4th and 10. So all year we showed you the difference with these two teams. Games decided 1 possession, 8 points or less. The Cowboys have been great. They've won 8 of them. The Giants have lost 7 of them. Here we are again. Final game of the year in the same spot.
It's a proud Cowboys defense trying to preserve this victory.
4th and 10. Blitz coming. Manning steps up, throws, and is dropped. Incomplete. Cowboys win it. Anthony Brown got his hand in there too. And the Dallas Cowboys take large momentum into the playoffs next week. What a game.
For a second there, I thought he had snuck it through. Look at Latimer coming across field. Brown 30 right on him. But at the last second, Brown gets his arm in between the hands of Latimer to knock it free.
And Dak Prescott will take a knee. What an entertaining game to cap off the regular season of 2018. Dak Prescott on 4th and 15 throws a 32-yard touchdown pass to Cole Beasley, who made a flat-out dive and got a knee in. And then the 2-point conversion, and on 4th and 10, Anthony Brown knocks it away.
What was that Cole Beasley told our Pam Oliver earlier this year? I get open, I get wide open. He wasn't wide open on that play, but he was more than open enough, especially with the effort to lay out.
For the Giants, a good fight, a familiar result. For the Cowboys, we'll see you next week. Cowboys win it in a thriller, 36-35. For our entire NFL on Fox crew, our director Artie Kempner, our producer Pete Macheska, Pam Oliver, Charles Davis, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Thanks for watching. A lot more football coming your way on Fox, and for now we send it back to LA with Kurt Menefee.